You can tell because I never put him out on time. It just I hate looking at myself.
You know what I hate?
What?
Traffic.
You hate fucking driving through LA?
Oh, the 5 is the worst thing ever.
You don't drive to San Diego much?
No, not really. If I'm going to go down south, I'm probably just going to meet up with Greg at the lake or something like that, and that's more towards east than it is south.
Yeah.
So
I should introduce these two guys that are on the podcast right now. Greg was on, maybe like a couple months ago?
Yeah, I think in February or March.
And then Paul was on about a little over a year ago.
Yeah, probably.
He wanted to get his own video version, see his beautiful face. So we're going to do a video version now.
Yeah, I think you wanted me on here more than I wanted to be on here. I'm like, when you asked me, I was like, I have nothing to talk about, like nothing at all. So I open it up to like Q&A on my Instagram, and then I get like 2 serious questions and then like 40 non-serious questions, like how do you pick up the 7-10 split? Like, you don't. You just pack up your shit and go.
I wanted to take Jared Swafford. You know who that is? Kayak guy. He's really good at bowling. I'm like, oh, you got to fucking bowl against Pizz, dude. He'll fuck you up.
I don't want to get in a bowling alley anymore.
No? When's the last time you bowled?
When's the last time I bowled? It probably about 4 years ago.
You're done with it.
Yeah, the kids wanted to go bowling. I don't mind taking the kids bowling, but I think the last time I gone was a few years ago. But the last time I actually went to like actually bowl something was probably over 10 years ago now.
No way.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So I'm just done with it. Like I got burnt out on it real fast. Yeah. I hope I don't get burnt out like making swim baits because
that's a question. Do you ever get burnt out?
Oh, all the time. Dude, I'm burnt out.
Do you ever get burnt out like where you're like, I don't want to see anything fishing?
No,
never like that. Just making the swim baits.
Because I enjoy like, other people catching fish and stuff like that. Like, when guys are telling me like how good a bait is or, how good their catches are or just anything positive, about the baits in general, like it uplifts me and I do want to make more and I do want to make them better,
Yeah.
Like I'm always tinkering with baits that are good to see if I can make them even better.
Yeah.
Guys are always accusing me like, oh, this bait is way different from the last one I got. And I'm just like, oh, there's really not much difference. You know, if anything, I tried to make them a little bit better every single time. I mean, there's just
when you say better, like, do you actually pour a new mold for them?
No. I'm just talking about like
hardware,
tuning them.
Okay.
Yeah, tuning and stuff like that. Like I'm always trying to better myself, but as far as making baits and stuff like that, which I think in the last 3-4 years they've come a long ways than some of like the original versions. Yeah,
you never take them to get tuned because like to row or nothing like that.
Okay, so I like we talked about the last time, I basically use row to make a master out of my master.
Okay, because
I don't think I'm like the greatest carver at all. So I know that there's some, discrepancies that he could fix, as far as like mirroring. So that's about it. He doesn't make my molds or anything. Mm-hmm. Like I make everything myself. That way when I'm building a bait, it's the way that I want it to be, not the way that I told someone how to be. So
will they do that too? Well, because they do design. They'll do
people
design. Could come with baits and be like, hey, make me a bait that looks like this.
Yeah, so actually just recently I gave him free rein on a bait called the Chief Shiner, and we made a little chief and a big chief, and basically I told him, I go, I wanted to make a shiner, but I don't really have the time to do it because I'm just slammed with orders and whatnot. So I said, I'll just kind of give you free rein, so let's just take the carp that we have on file and let's just stretch it out, and then I'll let you put a face on it. Just make it a shiner face, and it took a few months for him to do it, and it came out pretty cool. It looks different than anything that I would have carved, and that's what I like about it. Like it looks natural. It kind of has a weird face to it, but like I like it. Like it flows well, and that bait is actually pretty phenomenal. Like
so when you do that, they give it back to you to swim, because you got to make sure it swims, right? Are they doing that?
So the reason why I used that particular bait, the carp, as the model basis for it is because the bait already swam good, and I figured that if you're just elongating the bait it's only going to make it better because usually bigger baits swim better. So, I mean, my thought was it's probably going to have some of the same characteristics as the Carp Glide, and then it's just going to have kind of like a different face. But when I got it, it's totally different bait. Like, you can't even really tell that it was a Carp Glide at one point.
That's cool.
So, I mean, that's about the only thing I've used them
to make a bait.
As far as making something that wasn't originally my carve and stuff like that. So,
which I've never, I mean, I guess you could do that. I've only heard of a couple people doing it, but I mean, it's a cool collaboration for sure. I mean, like something different, like you said.
You know, I've talked to him about like how much it would cost to just get some, like if you were just had no carbs whatsoever and you wanted him to make a bait, it's expensive, and rightfully so. It's rightfully so. I mean, they're setting you up for production, so I would expect to spend 5 figures on masters and everything else like that.
It's to make that step to full production, like, you know, I just the only shop I've been to is Caesars, and they're going, you know, they got like a shop. You're still a one-man show doing that. You must get fucking tired, bro.
Well, you know, I do have help. My buddy Brad helps me pour some baits and stuff like that. So he has like a set amount, or he has about 8 different models that he will pour, and then I'll pour the others. So I just kind of give him a list, like, hey, we're gonna do these, or we're gonna do those, and then he just pours them out and preps them and stuff like that, to the point where all I have to do is just, you know, double check the sink rates and do any fine tuning if I need to. But he's been pretty good about it. And then I had Mark helping out a lot, the guy from Chuck Baits.
Yes.
I had him helping out a lot when COVID hit, because he works for the movie industries and the movies just weren't going. So he had, you know, he had a lot of spare time, and he offered his help, and, you know, that was cool. Greg's actually come up to help, what, once or twice?
I think twice.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we did some work before, like, I think it was like BABC or something like that, or Toxic Day or something.
I think it was Toxic Day.
You scoot the mic up a little.
The second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
Are
one
you
of
going to do
them.
it this year?
Dude, I even had Mark Rogers helping me out one time.
No
He came
way.
up, dude, I had him sanding, you know, I was bossing him around and everything else like that.
Are you guys going to do Toxic Day this year?
Yeah, we're going to go up. So we're going to stay
gave you a quitter's mic stand. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I fucked him up again. Gosh. Sorry, Paul, man. What the fuck am I doing?
Okay.
Well, we had the fancy ones. I bought the Joe Rogan mic stands, but they clamp on the table. And I have a glass fucking table. And they're made for outside, so outside I have like a concrete table we sit at.
Sure.
And I have it all clamped, and it's nice. Then I got these fuckers, and I'm like,
But aren't the cameras clamped to the table?
But they're not heavy.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Thanks for... You notice a lot of things there, Greg. They're
do.
good. Is that why you have him as your bait tester? Does he notices?
Well, I mean, he does test some baits, and he obviously knows what he's looking for as far as the action of a bait. So, yeah, I mean, and I trust him. You know, if something's off or something's wrong, I'm not going to say, "Oh, dude, you're wrong. No, dude, that bait's perfect. That bait's perfect, and you're just lying."
That takes a lot for someone to be able to take criticism from someone, and if it's honest, you know, opinion. But I'm sure some people are like, "Fuck you, man. I don't want you."
Well, yeah, there's plenty of that too.
Yeah.
I'll give you my honest opinion, whether you want to take it or not. Some people do, some people don't. I'm not afraid about hurting someone's feelings, because at the end of the day, if they want my feedback, I'm going to give it to them. And Paul's been good with that the entire time. You know, and we were talking about that carp, and the main thing that I have told him is, like, you know, there's a lot of baits you can fish slow. There's a lot of baits you can fish kind of fast, but there's not many you can do both to. So you gotta figure out a way to make it do both. That way it's versatile.
Yeah, and that's what everybody wants. This mic keeps falling.
It's a quitter, dude.
So anyway,
I'm sorry.
It's like I'm just gonna be talking. Like that.
Isn't there a movie like that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, is there?
I think there's a movie where they keep following. Or I'm thinking of fucking Talladega Nights where he's always like,
Oh yeah, I don't know what to do with my hands. No, but I mean that's a lot of what makes a good bait is how versatile you could fish it. There's obviously some baits that excel at a slow speed, and then there's some baits that excel at an erratic speed, and to have a bait that can do both is hard. I mean, there's a lot of tuning, there's a lot of testing that goes into it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like I said, I think I have it right, and I either try to make it better or I try to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like I have to push the limits. So like if I'm making a new bait, more so a glide, not so much a wake bait or anything else like that, because those are pretty self-explanatory as far as the build goes. But as far as glide baits go, I mean, I probably have I don't know, maybe anywhere from like 8 to 20 testers before I'm finally happy with one. And then sometimes it's like the first one was perfect, but I still go out and try to make it.
So you're still trying 8 times to make it better.
Yeah. I would say 6 to 8 times.
Will you, since you're making the bait though, like if it swims perfectly slow, will you just put it out as like, hey, this is how you fish it? I have the perfect slow, wine glide bait. I'm not going to fuck with it more because I could sell this and it'll work really good if I use it that way. Or are you going to go, I need it to be able to burn. I need to be able to,
originally coming up, I was happy with that. Like I thought, okay, so,
And I think that's something a bait company could be happy with. Like if I go to buy a bait and I know it's going to be, a slow wine glide, but it's going to fish perfect, I don't mind buying that and then buying another one,
Yeah. Well, I would say, if you're comfortable with the way a bait works, then go ahead and put it out.
Yeah.
But I would say that the feedback that you get from your customers is going to be like,
they want versatility.
Yeah, they're going to want something that's going to be like, something to swim fast, something that swims slow, because, most customers expect that from a bait that costs $150 plus. You know what I mean? Like if you're buying a $40 bait and it doesn't do something, well, it's only $40, invested, so you get.
It's like a plastic then. Like if you're going to buy a HUD or something like that.
Well, I mean,
I'm
talking like let's say
a river to sea.
Yeah, river to sea, or Savage Gear or something like that. It's not always you get what you pay for, because there's been such an inflation in baits. You know what I mean? Like baits have become more and more expensive now. Part of the reason is popularity. Part of the reason is materials. Like I couldn't get materials for baits for a while.
Was that due to COVID though?
Yeah, probably.
But I think popularity is a different another thing. Like where just when I started this fucking podcast, I've seen the bait makers go what? Tenfold, dude, 5-fold for sure. Like companies coming out, and there's different, like a different tiers now of bait makers. Like it's crazy.
I think there always has been. You just didn't really see them.
Maybe
social media.
Social media. Yeah. Like,
and since you're doing your podcast, you're talking to a lot more people.
Exactly.
You're opening up doors to different types of fishing that you probably didn't even know existed before.
But I mean, even new companies that have been around. I mean, for not 3 years, 4 years is pretty new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been making my own bait since 2012.
2012. That's a long fucking time, dude. You're coming up on 10-year anniversary, huh?
Yeah. I should probably put something new out. I already have like 40 baits in my catalog. I don't think I need to be making anything new. But alas, I do have new baits coming out.
Yeah.
I'm always... And at some of the new baits, I might not even sell. It just might be something that'd be like, hey, dude, try this bait out. Try this out. I think you'll like this.
And when you're tinkering with stuff like that, and you're going to think of something new, what's the procedure? So, like, you can only make a glide so much or a crank down. Do you ever think, man, there's got to be something fucking different? Something different.
Yeah, I've talked to Greg about this, and I've talked to Johnny. I've talked to, guys that I talk to on a regular basis, and I'm like, what am I missing? Like, what, because when you're building them and you're making them all the time, it's hard to see like that far like into the future, like what's going to be the game changer. And in my opinion, I don't think there's going to be like a bait that comes out that's just going to be like, oh dude, this blows everything out of the water. There's something new and something. It's going to be some type of design, like the head case type thing, or like the A-rig. When the A-rig came out, that was like the game changer. You know what I mean? Even though umbrella rigs have been out for so long, it's just that pros necessarily weren't using them, and I think that platform helped a lot of people. Get into making A-rigs, because before you knew it, there was like 100 different A-rigs you could buy. Right. So, I mean, now you see, a couple pros fishing, swim baits and stuff like that. So that's going to help, the popularity and stuff like that. Even just this last Bassmaster Classic, someone was using, a swim bait. So
that's crazy.
So
that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another hard thing is like, it's a tool, I guess. And people are figuring out how to use that tool, right? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. And not just,
There are some pros out there. I think Steve Kennedy. Is Steve Kennedy one of them? Or am I got the wrong name? Sure. I don't know.
Palahniuk's a big swim bait guy, right?
Palahniuk is. Who's the guy that won the Clear Lake on the HUD? Like 10, 12 years ago or something like that.
Oh, well, it was not that. Well, Skeet Reese was doing the Clear Lake tournament, and he did pretty good on the Rago.
Oh, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean,
there was one guy, I think it was Steve Kennedy. I'll look it up.
Fact checking.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't want to have one fucking thing wrong this time, right?
Yeah.
Get himself in trouble.
Getting to that, I'll just say that we were talking about my day at Pyramid and catching that big fish, and then we got talking about something else, and you asked me a question, and I thought that you were asking me the question, but you were asking the question about the other guy, and I said, oh, he caught it on the DDT, and thinking that we were talking about my fish, and the other guy took it the wrong way, and I wanted to mend that. So
I think it's hard because we're having a conversation like we would, like if I just seen you, like I'm like, hey, what's going on, dude? And it's like, I say some random shit sometimes I don't remember, or
sometimes
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fact check that.
But I'll say, I say whatever, and you're talking because that's just what I'm doing. I'm talking to you guys.
I know.
So for a lot of people, it's kind of like, you listen to Joe Rogan, you know how much bullshit he says? You listen to any podcast. That's just not true.
Yeah. Joe Rogan's got some out there podcasts. I mean, they're great. Like I listen to some of their podcasts when I'm making baits and stuff like that, just to have some background noise. If I'm not watching like I Love You Man or Forgetting Sarah Marshall, like I think, dude,
slap of the bass.
Yeah, for real. So I probably have played I Love You Man about 18, 19 times in the last 30 days. Like
it's on Prime though. It was on Prime.
I know, but I got it on Amazon and I bought it. Like,
did you?
Yeah, I bought that. I bought Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That's a great movie too.
I buy a bunch of them just so I get like 21, 22 Jump Street. Just ones that I can just listen to and laugh while I'm
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
You gotta be. You've never seen Hot Rod?
Is that?
I've seen Hot Rod.
Oh, fucking Andy Samberg. I think you'd like it. If you like those movies, you'd definitely like it.
Is that where he's the race car driver or something like that? He's a stunt. Okay,
it's fucking hilarious.
I've seen it as the movies are scrolling by. I've seen it, but one of the funniest movies that he was in was That's My Boy.
That's with Adam Sandler. That was a funny movie.
That was pretty funny.
So. Have you ever watched The Wrong Missy?
Yes.
How funny is that motherfucker?
Oh, dude, I told Andrew Swaim about that movie, and he's like, dude, this is one of the funniest movies one of the funniest new movies I've seen.
That's the problem. New. I haven't seen many funny new movies. Yeah. People are gonna be like, what the fuck are you guys talking about movies for right now?
I know.
Isn't this a fishing podcast? Well, it's a fucking fishing lifestyle.
Just to have some shop background noise. It's either movies or music, and then like probably I've always said I'm big into music, but I for like 2 months straight, I listened to nothing but grunge, do I feel like music helps me paint and be more creative sometimes? I think so, So it's just been pretty much grunge and reggae. You know, that's
I'm not a grunge. I'm into. I can't listen to reggae, dude.
it's summertime. You got to. You got the
Fuck
flip
no,
flops
I
on.
listen to
you got-
some fucking, Napalm Death or something.
well.
I'm into
Fall
that.
asleep listening to it? Or
Yeah. So I don't kill myself. I'll wake up.
Yeah.
But
There-
so yeah, I mean that's a lot of people got to think about the podcast. It's like we're just talking, and sometimes people say like something a little wrong because you remember something different or you hear something different. It's
It's
Yeah.
on the
happened a couple
spot, too.
times.
It's not
Yeah,
scripted
it's on the-
or
yeah.
anything.
no, it's
Yeah.
unscripted. Which isn't Let's Talk Hookup or English Chronicles. There's no like commercial break. You could say
Stack
cunt,
our
you could
papers
say
here.
fuck, you
Yeah,
could
I mean,
say
I
shit.
got some notes here, but I mean, it's like a Q&A, type of thing, and I get like 2 serious questions. And,
This is what these guys. The same shit
I
on
know,
mine.
I know.
Sandwich. Another sandwich question. What's your favorite sandwich? These guys are jokers. But like,
Hey, but the first time I did go fishing with Paul,
can you scoot your chair up? Oh, sorry. Great.
he did catch a fish eating a sandwich. I will say that.
you
Well,
know,
you were
swim
eating
bait.
a sandwich. You
Yeah.
got a fish.
Yeah.
Really?
I was dying. Like, of course he did.
yeah, it's I've done some pretty funny things catching fish. So I went to North Carolina and hung out with Johnny and a bunch of guys, and we're out fishing a pond. And at night they call it the Conjuring Pond because it literally looks like the Conjuring.
Oh, no
like,
way.
Yeah, it's like
Spooky.
you got the spooky, not fog coming in, and there's like you can hear a goat in the background. And stuff. Yeah, and it's out in the sticks. It's like you're not in the city. The only light you got is from the moon. That's it. And I was fishing the creek, and I got hit, and then it missed, and I got hit again, and it missed, and then finally I hit again, and I snapped it off, and then so I'm just kind of standing there, and then next thing I know, I'm walking to the left, back to where the guys are at, and my fish was just splashing right there at the shore, and it had
the
the bait
bait?
with the bait in it. So I basically caught a fish without any line tied to the bait.
Damn,
So-
dude.
So we picked it up. I mean, it was that was my first North Carolina fish.
How was it fishing
So-
back there?
It's different, out where I fish, you don't have like these long flats and stuff like that. We have steep walls out here. We have steep water, 45-degree banks and stuff like that, big drop-offs, lots of ledges, lots of points. And out there, it's more flat and more rounded.
Like a giant pond.
Yeah, like a giant bowl. I mean, there's few and far points, but I haven't fished like a whole lot of places out there. Like I've fished a couple different places, in Virginia. I fished at this place called Custis Mill Pond that has like a total rich history to it. Like George Washington fished there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's part of the George Washington Custis family heritage, and even like on the wall it has like pictures that that says like George Washington fished here. It used to belong to Martha Washington, who was Martha Custis. So I mean, it's got some really rich history, and it's like a private club. So a buddy of mine, Keith, he's a member there, and he invites friends out to come and fish and stay. So we were out there, and
Is it pretty wide open though, like fishing?
no,
Not as what you'd think.
not what you think. I mean, if you're calling it wide open, like catching like dinks and stuff like that, then yeah, I mean you can get on a dink bite type, But I mean, if you're trying to catch like bigger
7s or 8s.
yeah, so they have them there. They definitely do have them there.
Damn.
So he's caught some, a lot of the guys have caught some good fish out there. So they basically rent that, not rent, but they stay at that place like for the Swimbait Universe gathering.
Okay.
So we'll go out there and we'll have, raw burgers and raw steaks because the guy that's cooking them is like
Want some bloody,
cooking
huh?
in the dark, So like that's just the running joke we always have is like,
So no long road trips after that,
yeah,
right?
how do you want your steak, rare or extra rare?
Have you gone back there too or no?
No, I've never been back east.
No.
My dad used to live in Florida. A lot of places I would have loved to fish there, but never did.
You never went back there though with your dad to Florida?
No.
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 Damn. You've only fished locally then, like, or up and down California coast?
Yeah, I fished Michigan, which was awesome. I've been there twice for smallmouth fishing. Our buddy lives out there, and he's like, dude, in May, it's 100 fish days on top water. Like,
wow.
And they just walk the bank. They don't have a boat or anything in these rivers and stuff. And we're like, all right. He's like, come out in May. You know, snow will be gone. And his birthday's on Cinco de Mayo. So it was just like, we went out there for a couple days. Why not? And we're trying to figure out what we're going to pack. It's like, okay, top water, top water, top water. And I was like, oh, I'll bring an injected punker. Why not? I don't have to have a crazy rod to throw it. And it was a cold snap, so it wasn't exactly that good. And I was like, forget it. I'm just going to put on the punker and I'll just fish this thing all day. I think my second cast, I got one at the bank. Fuck. And then I actually got my PB on the injected punker there.
How big was that?
We didn't weigh it. I mean, my buddy that lives there, he said it was between 5 and 6.
Fuck, that's big, dude.
Yeah, it was ugly looking.
Yeah.
But it was so awesome.
Fight was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Those things pull hard, especially in the current. Oh, it's a lot of fun.
No, I bet, man.
I'd love to go do some smallie fishing.
Yeah, then we went back the next year, a month later, because we didn't want to get... I mean, it ended up snowing that trip the first time.
Oh, did it? Fuck.
Yeah, and I was catching them on the punker in the snow. It was crazy. But the next time we went back in June, and it was like 95 degrees and super humid, and that was wide open. Between me and my two buddies, within like 2 hours, I think we had 100 on top water, and then like a couple on plastics.
Fuck, dude.
In one spot.
Damn, that's good.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would always love, I mean, I've never been in like on a big bite like that down here. I'm sure you have. You've been fishing long enough to where you get on those bites where it just goes open.
I mean, I've fished Barrett, and that can be pretty fun, pretty wide open. Nothing giant for me there, nothing really big there, but it's just fun to change it up a little bit. In Vail, when it was open, that was, 50, 60 fish on whatever you wanted to throw. Caught them on rat, caught them on punker, caught them on frog.
When did that close? When did Vail close?
Oh, it's been a few years now.
They had that TV show, Top Hooker. Remember that show?
No, I've never seen
and
it.
And they did it at Vail Lake.
Oh,
they did all kinds of random shit, like casting and...
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was a pretty cool show. But
And the day that I ended up fishing there the first time, they had a surveying boat out there, so all you heard was... and the fish didn't even care.
No way.
Didn't even matter.
Oh, fuck.
I think
Yeah,
the only
pretty
fishing show that I watch is like City Limits Fishing with Mike Iaconelli.
I don't even know
Iaconelli.
if it's around anymore, is
No, it's not. But I mean,
a long time ago, I watched
yeah,
that too.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't even watch like Major League Fishing. I don't really watch anything anymore. Like,
No.
I'm
It's
all
all
stuck.
YouTube
Just
stuff,
forgetting
honestly.
Sarah Marshall. That's it.
Yeah.
As far as fishing stuff goes, you can find what you need on YouTube or even stuff.
Yeah, and there's some good YouTube channels out there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few that are probably geared towards swim baiting, but I mean there could be more. Like I always joke around and say that my YouTube channel is world famous and stuff like that, but I don't even think I have 300 subscribers. I mean, it's like I could probably take the time and work on my YouTube channel. And
You know how much work that is, though. Like,
no, I don't know how much work that is. That's why I haven't really gotten into
like people
it.
go, why don't you put these videos out quicker? Takes an hour video takes me the whole time to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it in fast forward, so it's like really fast, But if I miss a spot, I go back because I flip it back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes me like 3-4 hours depending on the fucking video. Then I got a color correction, and I got to export it. So it's like an 8-hour process. I'm like, how fucking 8 hours, to do that?
Yeah.
And then I do the audio on that's its own deal.
I have everything I need. I have the cameras, I have the computer, I have, all the stuff that I need. But I just...
You don't have the time.
I don't have the time,
Right.
It's almost getting to the point where I should just hire a social media manager, to run my stuff, because it's like if I post something, I'm getting
DM.
eight to however many questions about a bait, or and most of the baits are like, when's the next drop, and I'm just like, I don't know, like I just, like, for the Star Wars May the 4th be with you, I did 162 baits, and then as soon as those were gone, the next, I posted the next picture up there, and it was like, when's the next drop?
Fuck, dude.
It's like,
How long does it take you to turn over 162 baits?
oh, that took 2 months.
Straight.
Yeah.
Is that like 8 hours, 5 days a week?
No, that's like 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Really?
Yeah. It's
So that's where another thing is like, that's totally worth the cost of the bait. Totally. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like if you think about the price.
I mean, I'm exaggerating, but like I start anywhere between like, well, okay, so the kids were in school, they finally went back to school. So I was taxiing them to school, and then I'd, stop and get something to eat or drink. And then I would start. So I'd start my day about 8:30, and then I'd go for about 4 hours, and then I'd have to go pick them up. And then if it wasn't too hot, because where I live it gets super hot, I mean, I would work until about 2 or 3 o'clock, and then I'd have to take a break because when the sun gets on the other side of the house, it just goes right into the garage.
Okay.
And then it being summer, like it goes into the garage until about 7 p.m. So like right now when it's 100 degrees, like I can't do
You're working
anything.
from like 8 to 12 or
Well, now that the kids are out of school, I'm starting at like 7 in the morning. Sometimes earlier, but not often, just because I don't want to wake people up.
Yeah.
But so I'll start early, and then I'll go until like 11, and then it's just too hot. Like there's
and come back in at 8 or 9 and work.
Yeah. So I'll go until like I'm just too tired. Like I'm just seeing cross-eyed. My eyes are just too tired, and working.
He's killing time.
Working,
sorry.
Working around,
You're like,
around
who
the
the
tools.
fuck is this guy walking?
You don't have to explain yourself. You're fine.
So like working around like tools and stuff like that, and I don't want to work when I'm tired because like I don't want to, be too tired working on the bandsaw or be tired to working on something like Dremel or something, then nick my finger off or something like that.
Do you like do the micro balloon stuff? Do you kind of cover your head and do all that shit?
Wear a respirator?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you cover yourself and all that? Have you been doing that the whole time?
No, I don't know anybody that does. Do you? That wears a hazmat suit while they're making baits?
Fucking Eric from UFO does, dude. He's
really
big.
Hazmat suit?
Yeah, I think JSJ goes pretty hard too on it. Like where.
Well, I mean, I've talked to the people at the place that sells the stuff.
Oh, did you?
And then they're like, if you got like well ventilated areas and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you pour the powder in, it's going to be airborne and stuff like that. But I think if people don't realize that all you really need is a particle mask, like a dust mask, because if you're using like a paint respirator, you're not helping yourself, you're hurting yourself because all that stuff is just getting trapped, dust particles.
Yeah.
But when you're painting, you want to wear a paint mask. So when you're sanding and stuff like that, like I just use, like a dust particle mask. And then if ever I'm using like, Bondo or filler or anything else like that, I'm always wearing gloves. When I paint, I'm always wearing gloves because
will that get into the filler and the Bondo will fuck with you? Really
well,
too?
I mean, it says it does. I mean, obviously
Absorbs
with long
in your skin and stuff. Yeah.
Oh
with
no, I mean
long-
this
long
is like
exposure to
something
it, for
cool
sure.
to hear because it's like I'm bad at that when I fucking around with something, but you're doing this 24. This is your job, so you're touching it more than the regular person would be touching the Bondo.
Well,
and the
also
fillers.
at the same time, we have natural oils on our fingers and stuff like that, and you start handling baits, without gloves on, and you're gonna contaminate your baits, So, I use protective masks as much as possible, just for the simple fact that I gotta live for the kids. You know?
No, I mean I like hearing that. I mean at least
Yeah.
if someone else hears it might help them.
Yeah,
I know
I mean-
JSJ was like a lot of people loved him talking about that a little bit because some guys, man, I never thought of that. I'm sure I would.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I take the precautions too, and if anybody's helping me, I offer the stuff to them, whether it's a mask or gloves or something like that.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I don't want to be responsible for anybody else, getting messed up.
Cancer or emphysema, whatever.
Well,
you get from it.
I think long exposures, like I'm talking like years and years and years.
What's for you? That would be a long exposure because you've been doing this for almost 10 years. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I've been making big almost 10 years.
Yeah,
now.
that's wild.
So, So yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of times, you know, where I don't paint without a mask, and there's a lot of times where I do. I go, it just depends, you know, like
Even airbrush, you wear a mask.
So,
airbrush paint.
if I'm painting inside. So a lot of times I just roll the rack out and I'm painting outside,
Okay.
and you know I have a fan blowing, you know, the stuff away, and I guess if I feel like I'm intaking it too much, then I'll put a mask on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you can definitely tell. You know, like you can taste it.
When I used
That
to
sounds
airbrush, I'd be drunk, so I couldn't tell you. I'd be painting my Lucky Crafts for the surf.
Yeah. So I mean, I try to use as much protection as possible
That's
when it
great.
comes to that. But I'm not wearing a hazmat suit. I don't know.
No, yeah, no. It's cool to hear different people's opinions. You know, like on the whole thing for safety.
I mean, ultimately, I'd love to get like an industrial space, you know, where I was painting inside a booth that, you know, was sucking air.
Like a
through the
dedicated
vents and
booth
stuff.
for painting,
sure.
dedicated booth for.
For sure, yeah.
I don't think that's like in California. That's expensive as fuck, man. You know, like
Everything around like my area in Santa Clarita is expensive, and it's not just the industrial space; it's office space. It's everything, you know. Like something with a small storefront. And I'm not talking about in a retail area. I'm talking about like in the industrial centers and stuff like
what
that.
is it? What's the square footage? Like, what do they want
Well,
over there?
okay, so I mean, it all depends. You know, some places they're like 85 cents a square foot, but you know, then you're getting 10,000 square feet, and I don't need that. So, like, I looked at a couple spots that were only like 2,000 square feet, but are going to be over $2,000 a month.
Because they want like $1.15 or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. They want either $1.15.
How big is the
$1.20.
warehouse in those things, though? Pretty
Well,
good.
2,000 square feet, I would say that's about the size of a garage.
Was it the whole thing a warehouse and you have a little storefront as well?
It just depends. Like some places
Is that
don't.
the plan in the end, though, to have something like that?
Not in California.
No.
No. I mean, you know, the ultimate goal would be to do like a full production thing, but at the same time, like I've never wanted to put out 1 million baits. Like I wanted my stuff to be a little bit more exclusive, you know. So for me to do, you know, baits that have 160 drop, or even shows where I'm doing 300 baits, that's just not my style. Like that's a lot of work, and that's what burns me out the most. Is because, you know, even though I'm probably doing like 24 to 40, you know, 8 as a production assembly line type thing, like I still want them to look perfect from bait to bait, and it just takes a lot of work. So when I first started, I was only making like 4 baits a month, you know, 8 baits a month, stuff like that. But I was also, you know, working at my job too, so I didn't have the time. Now that I've been, you know, officially medically retired from that, like I'm just making baits full time, but on a part time basis. You know, like I'm not making it like a full business, like a full time thing. Like I don't want to work 7 days a week. You know,
No, of course not. That's
I don't want to. I don't even want to work 5 days a week.
Hey,
you
I
know?
don't want to fucking work at all.
Yeah. So like, you know, with the medical pension and stuff like that, like I'll be fine. You know, like I've always said, and even when I told my wife, I go, as long as I can make enough money a month to make my boat payment, I'm happy. You know.
Yeah.
I'm happy. So, and it's blown up since then. You know, but at the same time, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I made my boat payment this month. I'm fine.
But it must be hard to have people that are fans of your bait going like, man, I just want more. And there's probably a lot of people who are going, I just want one, and they can't get it because they can't get it on those drops.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. The worst thing is like, you know, I'll get guys that message me and they're like, I'm just looking for my first Pizz, and I'm like, I go, man, if I took an order for every single message I got like that, I wouldn't be nonstop. Like
those drops would be dedicated to people that want their first.
Yeah.
Pizz.
There wouldn't be drops in the first place.
Yeah, and on
Right.
and on Swimbait Universe, I've even posted like, okay, I'm gonna take 10 people that don't have a Pizz bait, and I'm gonna make you a bait.
Okay.
You know, so the first 10 people that don't have one, I'm going to make you one. And I did that, and lo and behold, like 2 out of the 10 guys raffled their
get
baits
the
off.
fuck
Yeah,
outta here, really?
So it's just like.
How do you keep an eye on that? Are you looking at people?
So
like,
I'm in the groups, you know, not so much to just watch, but I mean, there's been some stuff come up that, you know, I was interested in buying, you know, like Like there was a KRR crawler that I wanted, and I ended up winning it. And so that was good. I won a few GoPros on the waffles. So I'm not there to just like watch everybody and stuff like that. But I'm also, giving those guys that are running the pages a hard time,
It's
because
funny, I'd seen one with 86 baits was on one of them. And he posts, man, I can't believe you're asking that much for that fucking bait. And it was his bait.
yeah.
It's wild.
I think people have the, perception that everything is like double retail. They can just go and waffle it for double retail. So, but I give those guys a hard time because they take 15-20% of what the sale's going to be. So this guy that's on his phone, punching numbers and stuff like that, he's making more money than I am because he's getting 20% of what the sale is. So anything over like 750 or like 800, he's getting 180. So he's getting more than what I'm getting, and he didn't have to do any of the building.
It's like there's no way to police that. Really.
No, there isn't. And you know what? Like you said before, it's their bait and they can do whatever they want with it. Yeah. But it's also my company and I can sell to whoever I want to.
Yeah. So I would keep an eye. Like if I saw the same fucking dude flipping a bait over and over, I'd be like, no more, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a necessary evil. Like waffles have like made certain baits more and more popular. Or they've given it.
The fuck another guy?
It's your brother. It's your brother from another mother. So anyway, so what was I saying? Waffles are like a necessary evil.
Basically saying there's
Oh, what's he doing here?
a good and bad to both.
I hope he's not stealing stuff out of the truck.
Out of my truck.
Who's that?
It's Daniel.
Oh, it's Daniel. Daniel from Buch.
This fucking guy.
Get him inside.
Yeah.
Get him inside.
Yeah, get him. Here, I'll give him my. He can come sit in my chair.
There's no jujitsu here, bro. Look who it is.
I know, right?
Look who the fuck it is.
Oh,
He's gonna come on.
you just get here from Disneyland?
Really?
You got to wear a mask, bro. I don't trust you.
Nation, huh?
What's up, man?
There you go.
Jabba, go lay
Oh,
down.
I get the gifts. What's up?
Take a seat, Daniel.
You guys having fun?
Yeah, take a seat.
Cleared you out the spot.
You want to sit down?
No?
You want to hang out?
No.
Why?
Gotta go.
Why?
Because I have to go visit 2 vendors today. Be there by 1.
He's full
I
of
know.
shit. Where are you going to fish? Let me guess. Performance?
You have an hour.
No, he's just going
You
to
have an hour.
downtown Disney.
Wow, I know you hate them.
Yeah, I don't know if that's on.
So anyway, so like I was saying, it's kind of a necessary evil. It's made certain baits more popular and stuff like that. But it's also opened up avenues for people to actually get baits. Because, like I said, I can't cater to every single person that wants a bait, and I can't keep track of every bait that's out there. With the Star Wars stuff, I numbered every single bait
On the bait, like a,
on the
like a
bait.
stamp.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I numbered every single bait in like in inconspicuous spot that people probably wouldn't even know that there was a number on there. And then when they see this, they're gonna look at their bait and be like, "Eh."
Hey, that's great.
Yeah,
So-
mine all have Dremel initials in there, so none of
Oh,
those get sold.
Yeah. But that's not the reason. I just do that
No.
because
None of those get
no,
sold.
No,
because
'cause
here
usually-
you go.
no,
There's a
'cause
penis
usually-
marking on there.
Usually I'll go up there and we'll test swim them and stuff like that, and I'll be like, "That's the one I want." So he just takes it back and
marks it.
Dremels
Yeah.
it in
Okay.
there. Yeah,
yeah. So I'll like put a G on it or a dot or a money sign.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll do a money sign
Really?
sometimes. Yeah, because
You call 'em G
bait's
money?
money. No, I call him G Springer with the swim baits.
Oh, we call him G Money from now on.
I've been called all of it.
Yeah,
We got G
So-
Money. We got Captain Negative next to you.
yeah. that's Kung Fu Panda over there.
Jealous, man.
It's funny because when he worked at Demiki, when it was back in Valencia,
Yeah.
he actually had some Kung Fu Panda stuff up around his office.
Did you
space
really,
and-
Daniel? Can you say
Yeah.
hi? You know how many people have asked you to come on the podcast? You don't want to fucking come. Just say hi one time.
Hi.
You can't come on the mic and say hi.
No.
You know why?
Shy.
This is why.
But it's funny because Greg's there's Danny Delamater, Delta dude.
Oh, fuck
Oh.
that guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a fucking dork.
So for the longest time, he thought his name was Gerald. And kept calling
What
him
did-
Gerald. He kept calling him
you
Gerald.
call me Gerald?
Oh,
I didn't even know about it.
yeah. He was calling him Gerald behind his back. Like, he's like, hey, so are you and Gerald coming up to visit this, up to Toxic Day or
Yeah,
BABC?
this was
And I was
for-
like,
No, it's for the first Toxic Day.
Yeah.
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 Really?
Uh-huh.
And you
So-
just let him call you? Did you meet him?
I never heard him say that.
You
He-
say, bro, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just thought his name was Gerald. Like, I knew it, but I didn't correct him about it.
You loved it.
Oh,
You
dude,
were
I
like,
was
"This
waiting
is the
for him to
best."
call. Yeah, he's like, hey, what's up? Like, I was waiting for him to be like, what's up, Gerald? How's it
Oh,
going? You
God,
know?
that would have been the best, dude.
I had no idea until he told me.
What's
Until Paul told me.
do you know his what's his name supposed to be? Phil, what's Danny's name? They're calling him. Fuck, his dad called him by a different name, and I forgot the name,
Oh,
and it was real funny.
I don't know.
I got to find that name now so I could tell you what his fucking middle
I
name
can't
is.
remember. Did they used to call him like Jonah Hill or something like that?
I don't know.
we call him Captain Mustard Pants.
Why? Because he wears.
Dude, he always wears those mustard pants. Yeah,
Yeah, we went up there for Toxic Day, and
we're such bullies.
I
no,
have
it's
never.
called joking, and people can't fucking joke anymore.
Yeah.
So it gets, you know.
Yeah, I've never met either Caesar or Danny. I mean, a couple interactions through Instagram or whatever. And it was super cool that Caesar, let us stay there. He never met me. He was just like, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, are you sure this is cool? Like, right on. Super cool guy. We're all hanging out and stuff. But for the 3 days we were there, he had the same pants every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yep.
What a fucking dork.
He tried to say that he had like what,
Five
like
pairs. A couple
different
like
pairs,
five
yeah.
pair, yeah.
Hey, what grade are you in? Fucking second grade, Daddy?
Yeah. That was too funny. He's a funny guy. We
He's
go
great.
back and forth on
Danny's-
Instagram all the time.
I see it all the time. The A's and
And the Giants, yeah, all the time. Like I've kind of been quiet lately. The Giants have been playing like great baseball. They've been first place. They've had the best record in baseball for the better part of the year.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. As soon as I start talking shit, then they end up doing bad.
Actually, I have a couple, like 4 or 5 good questions. Actually, legit questions.
Okay. Is this from your Patreon?
This is from Patreon. Thank you, Patreon listeners. You can subscribe to Patreon, pay $5 a month, and you can win a bait. Martin Cazell. Can you touch base on different seasons in a year, water temps, water depths, and when and why to choose certain glides over a soft bait for the conditions? You can answer, Greg, and then you can answer, Paul.
Say that's kind of a lot. So is it just about between a glide and a soft bait?
I would say since we're going to talk about your baits, pick your glide.
Well, we can talk about all baits. I mean,
It's up to you. I mean, like I said, if you're in the certain times of the year, when are you going to throw a glide? What water temp do you like? What time of the year you really want to focus on that?
I mean, obviously you want to mimic the forage they're eating, whether it be a trout or a shad or a bluegill, whatever, or a carp. But it's really situational, day by day, going between a soft bait and a glide. Some days, those fish are willing to look up and willing to move a lot more. Maybe on days they're a little warmer, or even a little more stormy, they don't know you're there. I feel like a soft bait, you really truly fool that fish because they're so realistic looking.
Yeah.
And a hard bait, for the most part, yeah, you'll fool them, but you're more tricking them into eating that lure, whether you're twitching it or stop and go or whatever. I will always have both tied on in the winter and spring.
Doesn't matter.
Pretty much all year.
So it'll work in any condition for you.
Yes,
just gotta-
but you have to take that day by day. You have to, if you have your spots that there's fish and
Yeah.
they sit on certain areas, you're going to make a cast or two with one or the other and get feedback pretty quick. And then you just keep running your spots and see what happens.
All right.
But it's all up to you.
Same.
It's all up to you.
The colder the water, the fish aren't going to move as much, but there's always going to be that opportune time at some point in the day where a fish is going to come up shallow to eat. So having a glide bait tied on for that particular reason is why you do it. And you're going to want to fish. I think you're going to want to fish a glide bait more in ambush spots than you are going to be like out in the open. You know,
Okay.
as far as I think wintertime goes, because there's times in the winter where I've caught on a glide bait deep and, you know, letting it sink down to the bottom. And then there's been times where I've caught glide fish like right at the surface where, you know, they're hitting the bait and it's coming out of the water. So I think it's just, I think the more you fish and the more time you have on the water, the more you're going to know and take less of a chance, you know, more of a calculated, you know, approach to fishing it, you know.
What
So,
plastic are you what soft plastic bait are you fishing?
so I like fishing the 8-inch Hud and the Batesmith.
Okay.
Not the, what is it? The Batesmith X, the big one.
The Mag X.
Yeah, the Mag X. I'm not fishing that one. The Batesmith. I've thrown the 10-inch Hud a little bit, but I still think that the 8-inch Hud for the wintertime is the way to go. And then in the summertime, I'm fishing more of like a paddle tail style, like a working class zero,
Okay.
or a burrito bait.
Okay.
So I'm doing, you know, stuff, fishing them faster at that point. So I think the kick of
summertime,
those-
especially when you have grass around and stuff like that, you have more ambush spots. The fish have less time to really look at the bait, so they have to make a really quick decision. So usually up high is good over grass, up high over grass. When they tend to not come up, that's when you're going to want to, you know, throw the paddle tail or whatever around those grass lines and stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah, and then also in the summertime, you know, I'm fishing as fast as possible. You know, not necessarily just burning it, you know, because I don't think the fish is going to get a really good bite on it. But I'm talking like erratic, real pops, or I mean when we
I
fish
don't know, the
Skinner,
shad before it gets
dude, when we fished Skinner that one time,
blasted when you burn it.
we were burning it, the floaters on top,
Yeah.
and it just over the grass, and you could just, you know, see the fish coming from like, you know, 50 feet away, just tracking,
Yeah.
and just boom.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think people realize how fast a bass can actually swim.
faster than you can reel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Faster than you can reel.
Oh, for sure. That's why you could fish fast like that sometimes, like when you guys are doing
Yeah,
it. 'Cause
well, I
they'll
mean-
grab it. They're going to grab it. you know?
Yeah. Just in the summertime, like if I'm using a glide bait, I'm using a smaller profile, probably 8 inches or less, and I'm just fishing it, you know, basically twitch fast, erratic. I mean, there'll be times where the bait could do a loop-de-loop or a barrel roll, but, you know, when you pause it, that's when the fish is going to hit it.
Yeah. This one kind of plays on that. Will glide bait like a 250 work on large lakes that only have bluegills forage?
Oh, I got that same question.
Oh, definitely.
Is that from Parker?
I didn't write down the name. I just wrote down the question.
Parker Hopper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they still want a big meal if they're looking at it. I mean, there's times where it's the opposite too. You can get bit on a bluegill bait when there's nothing around, something they don't see. But it could be related to action as well. There's not a ton of bluegill baits out there that swim tremendously well. Say, you know, anywhere from 5-6 inches that swim really well, when you can get a bigger bait to do, you know, the job a little better. Not saying those little ones won't get bit, but you could
But if you're
definitely.
looking for a bigger fish,
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I'm almost like you shouldn't be scared to throw something that big if you don't think that kind of forage is in there.
Yeah,
You should.
the-
Those bigger baits
fish,
have
yeah.
draw.
Yeah.
They got drawing power.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that, you know, swim baits is just a reaction bite anyway. So whether or not you have trout in your lakes, a trout bait's going to get bit.
Yeah.
I don't think they look at it and be like, that's a trout. Never seen a trout in here before. I'm not eating that.
I mean, there's even that Shadley FG when I was testing it. You know, I got a 9
Don't say
something.
Shadley FG with Daniel here.
Oh,
Why?
sore
He's
subject.
been he's been wanting one. He's been wanting one for
He
about
wants
4
everything.
years now.
He fucking wants everything.
It's been like 8 years.
Why don't you get on the mic and fucking talk?
How about no?
See? God, dude.
But I got a 9 something on that, and I have never seen a shad that size in that lake or anything. You know, it's still food for them, what they think, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if a bass is looking up and they're seeing the profile, the bottom profile of a bait. They're not necessarily looking at the side of the bait. You know, they're not looking to see what the profile of the bait is. They're looking to see what the under profile is.
Yeah. It could have been a small bass or whatever, a small striper that was trying to eat.
Yeah, something stuck, struggling at the top of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here is a favorite sandwich from Andrew Lara.
Who?
Your favorite, Andrew Lara.
Okay.
Favorite sandwich.
I got that too. I think they asked both.
They wanted to make sure their question got
I didn't write that one down because I don't have a Patreon or anything else like that.
Oh, sorry. I'm the slut over here.
Favorite sandwich. Jersey Mike's Italian is pretty good. Number 13, Mike's Way.
Yeah.
It's really good. The only thing is that they put so much vinegar and oil on it. By the time you get it,
I don't like that shit.
It's so soggy.
Yeah.
So there's a place called Galleons that used to be in Castaic. They made really good sandwiches in the morning.
You're a big sandwich guy then? I don't think they'd ask you that question if they're...
I mean, they're good. They're good,
I like sandwiches.
I don't think they're going to give you a stomach ache when you're out on the water. So
I don't eat before I'm like Daniel. I can't eat before I go on the boat. I have to shit. Yeah.
So when you wake up earlier and eat, take care of that and then go.
I don't eat the night before. I'll fucking won't eat dinner because I don't want to take the chance of having to shit.
Yeah, you got to do a game time. You got to do a pregame every single time. It doesn't matter. Blow out an O-ring if you have to. We ain't stopping on the water. You got the SS.
Make sure to have TP in the boat. Comes in handy.
Dude, TP in the boat,
off the water.
TP in the boat, and TP in the truck. I mean, man. So
we got a water blaster for Daniel in my boat. You shoot right up his ass.
Yeah, going off
We've
of
got a story.
Yeah, going off of what Greg just said. Oh, dude, this is terrible.
We got to hear the story.
It's so funny.
Oh, it's great.
So we're driving back from.
And this is who? You two?
Yeah, we're driving back from the Delta, and to get back to the 580, you have to go through some podunk town type stuff. Just it's a lot of just dead fields and stuff like that. We stopped at a gas station, right? And the bathrooms were out of order.
No.
We didn't?
No. We didn't.
No. We stopped and the bathroom was out of order, so we had to keep going to the next one.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that part.
Okay, so anyway, so we're driving back and I'm just like, we had like the food at Toxic Day or
you did, I didn't.
Hey, fried chicken or something.
I wasn't able to. The line was so long by the time I got to it.
Yeah, it was Caesar's neighbor.
Yeah, that chicken. I think he makes that chicken.
Yeah, so some barbecue chicken, barbecue pork. But by the time, being a vendor there, you don't get a chance to eat right away. So by the time I just got like the leftover that had been sitting in the grease all day. And it's just like, dude, as soon as I ate it, I knew I'm going to be in trouble. Like say what you want, but, I mean, the food was delicious. Don't get me wrong, it was delicious. But I knew I was going to be in trouble. So we're driving back, and
we had to stop at Taco Bell for me because I didn't get anything. So I had Taco Bell.
Oh, that's right, we did.
Real nice. Was he working with you?
Yeah, we were working together. Yeah,
so
we fished.
You didn't get your worker any food.
We
just
fished
yourself.
I think he was out by that time.
Oh, was it?
Plus
yeah,
it was
I
so
waited
hot.
in line after he got his food, and it was just
done.
It was taking forever, and I just said, forget it.
Yeah, I mean, when you only have one food vendor there, it makes it kind of tough for like all the people.
Yeah, Caesar, why don't you fucking step it up this year, asshole? No, I think he's going all out this year, so I think it should be good.
I'm still waiting for him to have the mariachi band. He's been talking about that for a while.
Yeah.
So he needs to have some mariachis there.
You like that kind of music?
It's all right, but I don't want to get off tangent. This is a great story.
You've done this before, huh?
Oh yeah.
You've been on the podcast before.
I'm a pro now.
Okay, so back to the story.
So we're driving off of one of the main highways to go take the side roads back to the 580, and I mean maybe I thought we had stopped and the bathroom was out of order, and I'm like, okay, well there's one up by the freeway, but by the freeway is like 10 miles. To the freeway where you're just taking like these farm, like a half hour 2-lane farm road. Yeah. So we get about halfway through and I'm like, like, Greg, dude, I'm in trouble. I'm like, I got to find something now. And we get up to this T in the road, and there's what was it, like a
There's
biker
a
bar?
biker bar.
Yeah.
And like a little dirt parking lot.
Wait. I know where you're fucking talking
Yeah.
about. And
Yeah.
you got to make a right there to get to the freeway.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
I think there's an antique shop on the left,
yeah.
and then that biker bar on the
Yeah,
right.
I know exactly
And-
what you're talking about.
And I mean, I wasn't going to make it into the biker bar. Like, I was not going to make it in, ask where the restroom is, and go.
No,
like,
we
if there
saw
was a
porta potties on the outside, and he's like, "Oh yes, porta potties." I'm like, "They're on the inside of the bar. They're not on the outside."
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So I go to the hillside, find a bush, and I just
You blast it.
Dude, I am dying. I'm
He's
like,
he's laughing
he's
in the car.
serious.
I see him doing this,
Oh, yeah. Please tell me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I have
get a
yeah.
video
pictures.
for sure, dude.
and I'm just like it was like full on sprint. Like I was Forrest Gump running,
It
running
was like
away
Dumb and
from.
Dumber when he's fucking trying to get his pants down.
Well, by that time, yeah. But I mean, I was Forrest Gump running, So I find this big, huge, bush, and I go on the other side of it, and I'm just like, I'm going, and I'm like, fuck, I don't have any toilet paper. And Greg's just like
On my phone, taking
laughing,
pictures,
and everything.
dying.
I'm like, Greg, bring me some toilet paper. He's like, I don't have any, and I'm like, I got some in the boat.
So I'm trying to climb into the boat and find this toilet paper just rolling. And I finally get it. I'm like, oh, I got to get up close to that. I like throw
Yeah.
it at him,
Yeah.
With the camera, you're off.
Yeah, basically, he filmed me the whole time, and I'm just like, you fuck, this is gonna be so bad.
That's a great
Luckily, the pictures have never surfaced.
That's good. I got some of those. My buddy next to me has some. I ate shit at Skinner. We drank a lot, and then I got off the boat and ate shit, and my phone fell in the water.
Oh,
So I had to get a triple trout and fucking.
hold on. So the best part is he's walking up and he's like, "Bro, is that fire snakes?"
Oh, fire stick, dude.
Dude, fire.
And you got to go, you got to go.
Oh yeah, dude, straight. Like it wasn't like spackle; it was straight fire snakes. He's like, dude, I think there's a fire snake behind you. I'm like, what's a fire? Oh, dude. It was so bad.
Fire snakes.
Yeah, it was so bad. So like,
And then
like,
last time he goes up there, I didn't go to the other toxic day, but he sends me a picture message of the spot, and I just start dying. Dude.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
never forget.
never.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Yeah,
He put a cross up at the bush.
yeah,
With some toilet paper hanging over the fucking cross.
yeah. It was so bad.
Shit.
I think that time we went back there, nothing was growing on the hillside anymore.
Or it's growing really well.
It's all green.
Straight
Yeah.
fertilized.
This one's from Parker Hopper as well. When do you choose a big top water like a lunker punker or a mega dog over a typical glide swim bait?
I'll just go real fast. I don't really fish top waters like that.
Never.
No.
No.
I have before, but it's not.
Not your thing.
No. I'd rather just fish like a wake bait.
Yeah.
So
I'd say around trout stocks is good. And then most of my success with a punker or anything like that, got to have some texture. I mean, you don't want, 2-3 foot rollers, but
Gotta have
something to break up the surface. I mean, I've caught them in summer. I've caught them in winter. Over grass, they're pretty good too. But pretty situational. If, most of the time I'll fish a wake bait in summertime.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little more success with that. That's just because I fish it more as well. But I've caught good fish on the punker in, like post spawn, everything like that. Those fish are trying to still be aggressive.
Yeah.
There's a couple more trout, hanging out left over.
What's your PB on largemouth on a punker?
I think it was a little over 8.
Fuck, it's a nice fish.
Yeah, I mean, it's not giant, but it's fun.
Oh, I think that's a giant fish. I'd like an 8-pounder. That'd break my PB.
On top water, anything's fun. So
All right, let's move to Paul's questions.
okay, so one of the guys wants to know, when do you decide to do split rings versus egg snap versus direct on a glide? And I think
That's a great question.
I think it's just situational. It's what the bait kind of likes. I've gone more towards a direct tie on glides, But at the same time, when I'm testing a lot of baits, I just have a snap on so that I could just quickly open up the snap and then go from bait to bait. So a lot of times, I'll see like what each one will do. As far as a split ring goes, I mean, I'm kind of a fan. I'm kind of not a fan. I'd more prefer a snap. And I use the Spro snaps just because they're a little bit more narrow than an egg snap. And that's just personal preference. I don't think any brand is better or anything else like that. But as far as glide baits go, I feel pretty comfortable tying direct with a San Diego Jam or a Palomar. It just depends. So
I heard that. See, I heard people tell me the Palomar is no good for glides.
I don't like it.
So I lost
pretty
a
much
tiny
anything.
clash on one. Like, I should have retied and I didn't, but it was a Palomar. And they're like, use a San Diego Jam. Everyone said use a San Diego Jam.
yeah, I mostly use a San Diego Jam, but sometimes, I think a lot of people don't like using the Palomar because you have a huge leader at the end and you just tend to waste a lot of line. But I mean, if you're retying a lot,
Quick.
if you're retying a lot, you're going to go through a lot of line anyway.
Yeah.
Which you should be doing. So
How often do you retie?
usually after, okay, so if I catch a fish and I don't feel I feel like it's just like one fish in the area, like it's been kind of dead. But if it's been kind of hot, I'll just throw back out. But I usually tend to retie probably. Well, I guess it just depends. Like I feel the line.
How often are you checking the line?
I check the
Every
line
cast?
not every cast, but probably every 10 minutes. If I'm getting hung up in some branches, then for sure.
Or if it fouls. Or
Yeah,
anything like
fouls.
That, definitely.
Yeah.
What kind of line are you using? Most of the time.
I use Sunline Sniper FC like 90% of the time, and then
How
I'll
heavy?
use Sunline Assassin 20 or 25.
Same thing, 20. Same thing with you.
I do the Seagar 20.
Floor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm
Abrase
only
X.
using Foro.
You guys are both
Abrase
using
X.
floors,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now for like a punker or anything like that, or a rat, 80-pound braid,
Straight?
direct tie. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Even at your
65
local, what about local? You ever fish at local park lakes?
I have like 2 reels that have 80 on there. I mean, even my frog rods,
Really?
everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah. 65.
Would you fish
broken
that at a
off
local
too many
park lake
times.
as well? Same thing?
Yeah, there's not a big difference between 80 and 65.
Okay.
But my confidence in 80 over 65 is
Oh, fuck
way
yeah.
bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another question I have. Are you guys carrying like a knocker to get your baits out with you? And what are
Yeah, I
you
do.
Yeah.
What are you guys using?
44
only
mag.
reason I mentioned, I saw Gilbert
Same.
put up a video. I don't know if you can get the one he's talking about. I'd like to know what you guys are using as well.
The 44 mag.
Yeah.
Can you get those still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even like Tackle Warehouse had them for
Really?
a little bit. I don't know if they still do, but
How often have you used that?
frequently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't fished in 8 months, so I haven't used
serious?
it. Dude, I haven't fished in California all year.
Why?
I'm busy.
Sorry, fucking big dicker. I'm making fucking money.
I'm just making baits, I just been busy.
Yeah.
And with going through that medical retirement process, like I didn't want to take the chance of
Anything
workers
happen,
comp
yeah,
seeing anything.
exactly.
So I mean, I kind of played it safe. And then
So you're completely done. That's it.
yeah, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm just making baits, doing apparel, Slaunch Mob, and Pizz. That's
Dude, that shirt, fucking fire, bro.
this one.
And the fucking rip off from Sabbath.
You like that one?
Fuck, that thing is bad as fuck, dude. I saw that. I was like, that's one of my favorite shirts. Period. They have the album cover, and I'm like, that's a fucking.
That was
shirt, dude.
that was a OG one that when I bought the apparel line, that one came with.
Are
it.
you planning on pushing that a little harder this year too?
Yeah, so I kind of have been. What I've been doing is going a little bit more user friendly and not so hardcore, to try to get more interest in it. Because a lot of guys, they're not into heavy metal music. They're not into.
I think
It's a
I think a lot more are interested in it than you think.
Well, if
But
they
it's still
are,
a pretty
I mean,
small scene on.
yeah, yeah. It's
I-
like
I
a
only-
portion of
I
a
guess-
portion of a portion.
I only say that because like I have a lot of hardcore guys on the podcast, and their podcasts usually do pretty good. And then I get a lot of DMs of guys going, "Oh, Bass Tricks. You heard of Bass Tricks?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Brian Evans, owner. Fucking see my band play. Been to hardcore shows. Lives in Oxnard. Like,
Oh yeah, okay.
a lot of dudes cross over from when they're
He just
younger.
recently bought Bass Tricks.
Yeah.
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 I remember him. He sent me a question asking me some stuff about business. And I'm
Yeah, he's a
just-
cool dude.
Yeah.
I talk. He's coming on next week. So,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of crossover. I think I think if you push it, it'd be great. I love it. It's like one of my favorite.
Yeah.
bands,
So I've been trying to do some more of the OG stuff. Just because I've been working with artists and stuff like that to do new designs and stuff, and sometimes it's just slow. So in the meantime, I
Daniel's
just been
tired
doing
of us.
Later, Daniel.
See, I talk about Bass Tricks
See
and he
ya.
left. Really?
Hey, suck a dick.
Well, I guess we can talk about the Demiki 4L right now. Now that
Why are
he's
you
gone.
leaving, dude?
4B.
4B. Oh yeah,
Bye,
4B.
bye, Daniel. Thanks for stopping for a second.
Okay, bye.
What a fucking grumpy asshole, huh?
He didn't say bye to me though.
He's mad at you. He saw you got that fucking bait, and he never got his bait.
After
He's
you
mad
fixed
at
his
me
trolling
for
motor this
putting
morning.
a trolling
Hey,
motor.
I thank God he didn't say anything about the fucking electronics right now. I'm like, I don't have time to do that at all. Right?
It's okay. He already said he wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Oh,
So I've been trying to do some more user-friendly stuff and just working with different artists, trying to get new designs. So we have I posted the Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, that was a cool fucking
with the trout on it. Just trying to do a couple different species of fish and stuff like that. So I'll definitely want to keep it fishing related with a slice of music to it.
You could just go and fucking rip off. I mean, this sounds stupid, but rip off band like covers and
Yeah.
then make them into like,
Yeah,
there's a
like
ton
people
of
hit
them.
me up all the time. They're like, "Oh, you got to do the Iron Maiden, that guy. There's
Oh,
one
yeah,
where
Eddie?
he's got the Patriot.
Yeah.
And
I
you
think
can.
Big Gus did the same shit with the page. Didn't he do the Iron Maiden one?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
But I mean, there's tons of bands you could fucking
Sure,
do,
for sure.
I think that'd be really
But at the
cool.
same time, like I want to keep it a lot of it original. Like
Yeah.
I want it to be original designs that are inspired from different genres of music. Like I don't want to just always do a rip of something like that. Some of it is cool, some of it is played out, but at the same time, those things are iconic. People like you said that Black Sabbath Volume 4, like people know exactly what that
Oh,
is
fuck.
when
Well,
they see
yeah,
it.
most.
If they know what that is,
Yeah.
But most people do know what
Oh,
that is.
fuck yeah.
So
So, yeah, that'd be cool if you pushed that like a little
yeah,
more. I think it's going to be really cool.
so I've been working, with Robert Kane.
Dude, he makes some
yeah,
amazing art.
he does some good
Yeah,
stuff.
he's good.
So, but at the same time, he's a lot of people are using him for designs, and he's busy doing his own tattoo stuff. So, like I get designs done every few months. So, I've reached out to other artists to try to do some stuff, but I don't know what it is about artists. Like they're either lazy about getting back, or they're lazy about doing work, or
The one that I use is pretty good. You ever use Goonie Wolf?
no.
Really?
Goonie.
No.
Yeah, he got my shit back in fucking like a week, bro.
Yeah.
He's done.
He did
Two-
blanked stuff.
He does two. He did two of my shirts,
Yeah.
and he did the new one we're doing. That's a largemouth. So like the.
I mean, I've seen his work.
He's
I've seen
good.
his work.
Yeah, he's really good.
So-
Charles is pretty good. Like he's.
I've
pretty
used
quick.
Charles
Yeah.
Benalvis before.
But that's
and
the
I'll
only people
probably
that I
I'll probably
know.
will reach out to him again.
Yeah.
There's certain like he has like an American traditional style that I like.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
he did an American traditional like tattoo style shirt for me, which I did like.
But like, get what you're saying. Like, I think it's like just overwhelming sometimes with people. Like these artists like that dude probably gets hit up a million times or is doing a lot of projects.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's probably just what you get, Paul, too.
Yeah, it's like being a big.
Hey, can you do this for
Yeah.
me? Can you do? Yeah.
Yeah. They got an app called Fiverr,
I heard
and
of it.
you can go on that and find an artist, and they can do a
You could
drawing
do
for
anything
you.
on that, right?
I don't know.
Well, I think you
I
could do
mean-
like artist. I could do people to edit podcasts. I could do people like everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I do.
I've
I do-
only briefly looked into it. Like you just put up like let's say I wanted to do like fishing art, and then there's like all these artists that already have like their fishing artwork already up, and you can kind of choose like what you like, what style you like. So But with Slaunch Mob, I like to keep it a little bit more like heavy ink, if you will. You know,
I think
like
if you
this design has
that's an
so
amazing
much
shirt.
so
yeah.
much heavy ink to it.
Well, fuck, how much does that cost to print?
Let's see. So I think it's 4 colors.
Is that it, really?
Yeah,
Dude,
4 or 5
that
colors.
shirt is nice.
So,
looks really good.
you know, obviously you have to pay for screens and stuff like that. And then I did these on black so that I wouldn't have to do the black, you know, in the areas where there's black. But I, you know, depending on who you go to, like the more you do, the better breaks you get. And usually the break is like 6 dozen.
Yeah.
So you get a better break at 6 dozen. So I think single color, like I've gone as low as like $5.75 a shirt. But now that I'm using a little bit more of a premium shirt.
Do you have a guy you go to?
I don't have a guy. I go to a business.
Oh, but you have like I'm not saying a guy, but do you have like
So
a
I had
place you go to all the time?
So I had gone to Victory Records in Chicago for years.
Victory Records?
Victory Records in Chicago. Like the label. But
really?
they printed shirts. Yeah,
really?
they're a hardcore. You know, they got a lot of metal bands.
Tell me about Victory. I grew up on Victory,
Well,
bro.
you know,
Hey, Bree, come on, get the fuck out of here. Jamie
don't know.
Johnson came to see my band play.
Well, anyway, so I don't think they went out of business as far as the label goes, but I was told that the owner was going in a different direction as far as the printing goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so what's funny is the girl that I had spoken to there, that was always doing the orders and stuff like that, she said that, you know, everything is going to auction and they're selling all their stuff. So I was looking around. I was trying to find a company that did embroidery, direct-to-garment, and screen printing all in one, and hats, so that I just only had to deal with one company because I was dealing with like 4 different.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, who did I talk to about this? Who did I talk to about that? And I just wanted to do like an all-in-one type thing. And it turned in, you know, I did with this one company, and it was kind of a headache. But then I get an email saying, hey, we won this auction and your print was still on the machine.
Oh,
and we're interested, if you're ever interested, you know, we'd like to do prints for you. And I wrote them back. I go, that's a pretty cool story. You know, I'll look into your company. You know, I'm looking kind of for like an all-inclusive that does a little bit of everything, and they do that. So I have been using them for the last 4 or 5 prints, and I've been pretty happy with it.
That's good. I mean, the shirts look like, I'm big on shirts.
Yeah. Well, he has like the old Gildan or jerseys that I used to, and then now they said, no, you got to use this shirt. This is like the new style that like guys like to wear, and it's a
weird.
softer.
I'm like, give me that fucker. Yeah. I like the thick, you know, kind of like.
Yeah, see,
I'm a
like
fat motherfucker, so that's probably why.
I like the thinner, a little bit more fitted, you know, style look. You know, even though, you know, you're still on the chunkier side, you still kind of look a little bit slim. Yeah, so true. You know, plus I didn't like the box fit shirt, if that makes sense.
I know what you're saying.
Sometimes you know, they're so boxy that like when you come together like this, it feels like it's just.
Look at you're all ripped right now too, doing that because it looks like you got traps. That shirt makes you look like you have big ass traps. You're like, hey, bro, do you lift?
Well, I make swim baits. You know, I gotta do the heavy lifting.
Apparently, guys at those swim baits have big dicks and muscles.
Well, I'm taking the 5 gallons of resin, and I'm doing like Bell. You know.
No, but I mean, it's your shirts have always been like. I like them a lot. They're great.
Thank you.
Like everything you put out with that company.
Thank you.
And I even followed it before I even met you. You know, like I'm like, look, this is bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's cool, I'm excited about that company.
And with both, you know, Slaunch Mob and Pizz, like I like stickers. I like designs. I like stuff. You know, it's not just about, you know, just the baits. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to make a brand. So, and it's just. It's gotten to the point where I'm thinking months ahead now rather than just in the time. You know, like I'm making a plan, making a schedule of all this kind of stuff.
Is Slaunch Mob just you as well?
Yeah,
that's a lot of fucking work, ball.
Yeah,
between the fucking baits and his shirt company.
Yeah, I neglect the Slaunch Mob Instagram a lot. Like I've had 2 friends help me run it. And I just think it just gets neglected. Like I like to push it a little bit more. I'd like to post a few times a week, to stay in the algorithms and stuff like that. But it's just like if I don't post something, if it, like right away, I tend to forget, and even with Pizz, I have a backlog of cast to catches, and I have a backlog of fish pics to post and stuff like that. And it's just like I said, if I post something, I get a bunch of messages like, when's the next drop?
How old are your kids right now?
What does that have to do with this lunch ball?
Because then you could have your kid.
No,
not old enough.
They're 11 and 7.
I get another at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So I get my daughter's 11, and
actually, probably I could trust my 11-year-old to post something, and he'd probably do a better job than me.
I could trust her to post stuff. I don't trust her to read the comments and stuff like that I'm getting.
Because I'll get some shit that goes, Dad, what does that mean? Touching tips.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Have you ever heard of docking?
Yeah.
Right.
Like the question that I got: are you circumcised or natural? It's like, come on,
do you have an anteater? No.
Yeah. Seriously.
Why didn't you write the person's fucking name? At least we could have said their name. That would have been great.
Because they're always hiding behind, Instagram screen names. They don't use their real names and stuff like that. That's why they talk shit and do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So whether it's positive shit talking or negative
keyboard
shit talking.
warriors, right?
Basically.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have another couple questions?
Oh yeah. One guy asked how many baits per drop, and it just basically varies. Like,
are you looking at 140 to 160?
No, that's too much.
Is it each drop? Fuck.
I think it's too much, because not only does it take a good month,
so how
month
many
and
drops
a half.
do you do a year? How about that?
Okay, so drops are kind of a new thing for me. Like, I've always just been like, hey, I want a bait. Okay, I'll take your order and make it. And then if it takes 2 weeks, it takes 2 weeks. If it takes 2 months, it takes 2 months. But at least you're guaranteed to get a bait. Like with a drop, whoever's refreshing on the site is going to get a bait.
But you're not. Do you think the drops do better for you as a business?
Yeah, because basically I put out what's done, people buy it, and then I ship it out, and then I go on to the next one. Like, I don't have to worry about it. The only thing I got to worry about is guys that are hitting me up like, hey, do you got anything extra lying around?
Fuck no, I don't.
Like one extra Star Wars carp wig. Yeah.
Do you have any?
Did someone fuck that one up?
Do you have any
I'm
blems?
sure he did.
Yeah. Do you have any blems? And I'm like,
that's one thing I would complain about is blems. I'm not going to give you a fucked up bait that I have that's not going to swim or look right.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, here's the new thing. Guys are like, hey, since you're not fishing anymore, can I use the bait that's in your box?
You got to be fucking kidding
swear
me.
to God. Swear to God. Guys are like, I hear you talking about you don't fish anymore. Can I just use your bait? And then I write them back and I go, well, I do plan.
Hey, you might as well grab my dick while you're at it if you want that. I don't use that often, but sometimes I do.
Well, we don't have to go there. Come on.
Okay, for myself at least.
I know.
That's why
And,
they
like-
can't read the messages.
Yeah.
As far as a consumer goes, like, as I'm on both sides of this, just knowing what he has to deal with, other people deal with. As a consumer, I would rather buy something that's already there and know that I'm getting it within a week versus a pre-order. I mean, there's a certain pre-order that's been, money's in their bank for 3 years, and nobody has seen a bait.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to talk.
Yeah,
I don't know who the fuck it
Yeah,
is.
we're not.
People know.
Hey, side note, I want to know after.
But
even
so
then-
for the consumer, it just sucks because you go, okay, I'm going to spend my hard-earned money, and sweet, I got one. When am I going to get it?
So this is where it's hard for me. Is like, I want to grab like certain baits, like, and that dude drops. No, I don't have time to sit there and fucking. And I'm not going to be the guy where I know these guys, so I could hit them up. No, you got those guys.
Yeah.
There's guys out there that know you, that have a following, that might be something. Hey, dude, it's me. Hook me up. I'm not gonna fucking do that. That's like the same shit as doing as a regular.
Well, I mean, like
Right.
Like, for example, Greg was like, hey, I want to get one of those carp wakes from your last drop. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I didn't write it down, and I totally forgot.
And that's
So-
an accident. That's a complete accident.
Well, yeah, but I
like-
mean, I feel like don't get me wrong, I feel bad, because I know he's going to be fishing it, 100%. I know he's going to be fishing it, and that's the ultimate goal is for me to make a bait, a guy to catch a fish on it, use it. Maybe they don't catch fish on it, but at least they're using it. At least they're trying. You know, they're putting in the effort.
Yeah.
So the guys that are just out there to make a quick buck, you know, it is what it is. You know, that's going to be in any business. And, you know, I've gotten better at just letting it go. You know, it just is what it is. It's going to be in shoes. It's going to be in clothes.
And there's no way to fix that because you're one man until you. The only way to fix it would be to have like a shop. Because if you had a shop, you could, like I seen what Caesar's done. There's baits that are hanging up in there that people drive up. We'll go grab a couple that, you know, they're one-offs that are just up hanging on pegs.
Yeah.
So they could drive there. Like if I really wanted a bait and I lived here, I would fucking drive up there and buy like whatever they had.
Yeah, but a lot of guys that are doing big production like that, they got a team. They got
True.
They got
That's
workers,
what I'm saying. You know,
he's got what 3 workers or something like that. Mike Bucha's got like 5 workers. You know, Matt Lure's got a bunch of workers.
So it's either like you're in a predicament where you got to either go, I'm going this way, or I'm going to stay where I'm at and kind of just.
I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I like just doing limited. Not I wouldn't say limited to my ability, because I've always felt and still feel like I've always been like the underdog to what's popular out there. Now, you know, now I'm popular.
Fuck no, not right now, dude.
Well, no, not right
You're
now.
The big dicker.
But what I'm saying is like when you started building at the time that I started building, there was already people that were entrenched in the swim bait world. Like it was like Mount Rushmore, and just to always be not me personally, but all baits just compared to what was already out there was the hardest part. So I had to try and put in more effort to be better than what was already out there to get the attention of a new customer or something like that. A lot of guys are always looking for something new, new advantage or something like that. But I always did it on my own.
Yeah.
Like other than just doing that promotion with Big Bass Streams, like I never collabed with anybody else. Like I worked with Hinkle and painted his baits for a while, but that's when you first started and you were just painting at the time. But that was his bait. No, I was making
You're making
mine.
baits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was painting and making mine, but like those were still his baits, you know, like, yes, it helped get my name out there in a way. But people were still like wanting the Hinkle over the Pizz, you know, which totally fine. You know, like I can't make somebody want a bait.
Does Hinkle do drops?
I don't know.
I feel like Hinkle's one of the guys.
I think he does an email list
too. That's done his deal where he's made it the right, you know, just like gone the right route too as well.
As far as I know, I think it's just email list.
Yeah, email.
That's
and,
cool.
And he still uses AOL. So like,
fuck it, dude, like,
you've got mail. You know, like 1,000 times. You know.
Fuck
but
that.
No, but he, you know, he's one of those that left his job to make baits full time.
Wow.
You know, so
Yeah.
but I don't know what he's really been up to lately. As far as I've seen he dropped his trick trout and stuff like that, which I know he had been working on for what, like we first saw those like 5-6 years, maybe even longer.
5-6 years on that trout.
Yeah.
And then he didn't see him for a really long time.
Yeah. So
Just fucking with it the whole time. Wow, man.
yeah, I mean, you know, I remember at one point he had a list of Hinkle trouts that was probably over like 300. You know, and how long is it going to take one guy to make 300 baits? It's going to take over a year.
And not add another 300 to it.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the price point to me goes. If I'm a one-man deal, I'll charge with. It's hard because I've had this debate back and forth with people where I go, okay, well, can you bring a price point down to where it's going to work for everyone? To me, it's like if you're a one-man show like you, it's like I'll price whatever the fuck I want, really, and you're going to pay it because that's what I think I deserve.
Supply and demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds shitty because, and then part of me goes, well, I don't make that much money. You know, I don't make a lot of money. So when I buy a bait, it's like I could buy one. You know,
Yeah.
my wife's gonna fucking chop my nuts
Yeah,
off.
but
you know?
I'm not trying to control
And,
the market.
and
or
you're
anything
not,
else
and
like
I'm
that,
not talking about
you know?
controlling the market, but I think people sometimes think maybe a bait's over, it's $150. Well, I'm not paying that, fuck, you know. Or,
Yeah,
Well,
but that's
whatever it might
nothing.
be, you know?
That's nothing. Think about it right now. You go just to go fish one day if you have a boat.
$100 for sure.
Go to Diamond Valley. If it's you and a buddy, it's almost $50 just to get in. Then you're spending another $100 easy on gas in the boat and gas in the
Exactly,
truck.
yeah.
So if you're complaining about a $150 bait,
It's not
just don't go
much.
fishing one day.
Which is a great,
And you're
great
fine.
perspective, you know?
Yeah. Or it's like if, you know, you have your vices, say you like to drink, you like to smoke or whatever.
Oh,
and,
you're
you
looking
know,
at me saying drinking, huh?
well, what I'm saying, you're saying they're expensive, but, you know.
No, but it's the same shit. I mean, but I think when people think a bait that I can lose or I can, you know, I don't know. Who knows how fucking people are thinking, but you hear it.
Well,
That's the only way I'm saying it.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, I'll buy that one bait when I can, you know, like,
dude, major props to guys that are bank fishing swim baits because I won't do it.
fuck, dude.
I will
It's
not do it.
scary.
I'm not. Yeah.
Scary.
If I'm
I mean,
doing
I've
it,
done
it's
it, but-
if it's a top water. You know,
yeah.
it's a wake bait.
Something that
It's a top
floats,
water.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
I've probably lost
yeah.
$1,000 worth of soft baits and stuff like that from the bank too. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a part of it, but
What's the most
like,
expensive bait you ever lost?
oh, I don't even know.
Really?
Yeah.
You ever thrown a mother?
Never thrown the mother.
No.
I mean, I know people that have, you know, been with me and thrown the mother and stuff like that. But like those mother chasers from the bank, no, I'm good. I mean, I wouldn't buy one in the first place because to me that's expensive.
Yeah, that
What is that,
expensive.
$5?
$9.50.
No.
$9.50.
Yeah.
The mother chaser.
Plus, then you have to buy a rod that throws that, and then another reel. Like, it's just a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Damn.
From the bank, I know a couple of guys do it, and power to them because they've got huge balls to do it. But that's not for me. I mean, dude, I last summer actually I cast off one of Paul's baits, and it was like in a perfect spot to where I couldn't see it. There was like just enough grass to where I couldn't see it, and I was like, dude, this is terrible. Like I'm on a pretty decent bite. I'm never gonna find this thing. And then I go back a week later, grass isn't even there, and it's just sitting there
You're
on
like,
the bottom.
yes.
And I got lucky, but it doesn't always happen that way.
No, I mean, when I lost that tiny clash, I was like, fuck my life. Like, that's
I
the
mean,
first.
it never feels good to lose anything.
Yeah, no,
no.
it doesn't.
Whether it's, you know, a $10 crankbait or, you know, $1,000 swim bait.
See, I
whatever
feel
it
like
is.
I fish a lot of calico, so when I lose shit, I'm like, eh.
But
It'll
that's
but it's
completely
cheaper.
different.
It's
That's
way
completely
cheaper
different.
too.
Yeah.
You know, like where I'm throwing like plastics are like maybe. I usually get them for free,
But
so I'm not gonna say I pay fucking for. I'll
Yeah.
pay for the lead head or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking it's, you know?
The most expensive bait that I purchased and lost was a hinkle trout.
Really.
Yeah, and I broke off on a fish. So, and that fish,
So you see, that's a different story. Breaking off on a fish, at least you had a fish
yeah,
on it.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're going, how stupid am I for not retying?
yeah,
What kind of knot were you tying?
I don't know.
It's probably
San Diego,
Palomar. It's a
San Diego
Palomar,
man.
for sure.
Palomar.
Yeah, San Diego Jam. No, I think so that particular story, I fishing Pyramid and I'm fishing parallel to the dock that's down there, and I've known that there's this big fish that's been there for a while, just because I've stuck the GoPro in the water and like looked down at the pillars and stuff like that to kind of see, and I've just seen big fish that hang out down that way and getting close to like the trout stock. So I was fishing a Hinkle parallel, and I make one arid cast, and I'm like, shoot, I messed this up, because sometimes with swim baits you only get one cast.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you only get one
Yeah.
cast.
So I hurried and reeled it in really fast, and then I made a really good cast where the bait was just going under the dock, out of the dock, under the dock, out of the dock, and then right when it got to the pillar, it went around the pillar, and then the fish hit it from this side, and I don't fish braid. I was fishing fluoro.
Oh no, brought the fish around the pillar though.
Oh no, it was on this side.
Okay.
But I set the hook right into the bridge that goes across.
Oh fuck.
Right,
dude.
that goes across right into where the dock is, because it's one of those like rental things, so you can walk right. And I set the hook right into that, bing, and then it just straight broke. So,
Fuck, dude.
And then the fish, of course, is jumping.
You see the fish with the fucking
Yeah.
That's
It's
the best.
jumping throughout the dock, and
That's the best.
sometimes they'll get tired and then just lay on the surface, and you can just grab them.
That's happened to you before?
That has happened to me before.
Fuck,
yeah,
dude.
where they get tired
Yeah.
and then they just lay on the surface, and you go and grab them or net them or something like that.
Yeah.
I've gotten baits back from fish that spit them.
Really?
I broke a giant fish off on a rat one day, and it broke me off almost instantly.
Shit.
In an 80-pound braid, button drag. It just wasn't going to happen. And I was with my buddy and his son, and we're just sitting there like, oh my God, this is terrible. I lost that fish. I wasn't too worried about the bait, and then so we sit there for a little bit, and like 2 minutes later, his son goes, "Hey, is that your bait?" And it just floated right back up, like right at the boat.
You're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stoked.
Yeah, he catches fish on rats like quite a bit. Like
Yeah.
I don't. No, I don't.
Oh no.
He doesn't want the DMs. Don't say that.
Yeah. So no, as far as like a a rat topwater bite,
Yeah.
he gets them. He gets them a lot. Like he sent me tons of cast to catch on the beast wake and the creep
And the little creep.
and
yeah.
the little creep. The little creep's great. I mean,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've fished a lot of rats, and I don't care how loud they are, but if they walk perfect and they swim good and
That's
they make a
what
bunch
you're-
of commotion, gurgling and stuff like that, that's where it's at for me. You know?
Yeah.
And I think the little creep is, the best rat that I've personally ever thrown, and that's just a totally unbiased opinion because I've thrown a lot of rats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, of
but I
course.
mean, and people who have them have said the same thing. They're like, dude, it walks perfect, it swims perfect. I mean, there's this guy that does swim bait reviews. I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram.
Is that the name of this?
Yeah, it's called Swim Bait
No, I
Reviews.
knew.
Yeah, he wanted me to do a shout out for him, and he's gonna pay me handsomely for it. So
Oh well, he's paying twice now. That's a great start,
Yeah, yeah.
motherfucker.
yeah, get a Patreon.
You better come jack this dick off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that, but anyway. So he posts videos and stuff like that, and all brands, not just Pizz, but he does all brands, and he did, the little creep, and then I think he did the 3-piece creep.
Is he
Side by
from
side.
here or is he back east?
No, he's
or-
back east. He's South Carolina, North Carolina border. He fishes a lot of Joe Cass. So
Cool. No, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
yeah, maybe hit him up and get him on. So
Yeah, I'd love to.
I'd love to
I got
make-
to. I got to.
I'd love to make his dreams come true to be on a podcast.
This is the worst one to be on. So, no, I got to make.
Oh, I
it true.
agree.
Apparently, he loves being on fucking bad podcasts because it's his second time in fucking 2 months. Huh?
Right? Yeah.
I'll never turn down an invite. I'm just that kind of person.
Yeah, we're not a Daniel.
Right?
Don't be a Daniel.
I'm gonna put that on the beginning of the info. Like, we had Greg, we had Paul, and Daniel. The closest you're gonna get them on the fucking podcast
Yep.
in the background. No, I mean I'd love to go to like a universe event and kind of do some dudes.
Why don't you
down
go? Why don't you go?
I might.
It's in October.
there. I might,
It's
because
October.
I'm like I love the in-person thing, and I could bang out probably like fucking 10 of them when I'm down there. Like,
Yeah, I
dudes
mean it's
that I've
a
had
5
on,
hour
you know?
a 5 hour show. It's at a campground. You could easily set up a table like you did at some of the other venues,
Yeah.
and then just talk to get a chance to have all those
there's a
vendors that
shitload
don't
of
get a
dudes. Like,
chance.
I'd like to get a loot on. I'd like to get like a lot of.
I don't know if he. I don't. I mean, I
Isn't
don't.
he over there?
I believe he's in New York.
Okay.
But I don't see why they wouldn't come down. I mean, it's definitely a good swim bait venue.
It looked crazy like the last time.
Well,
it looked
okay,
pretty
so
big.
so yeah, it's at a big venue, but since COVID had so many restrictions this last year, like there wasn't a whole lot of people there. But this year, I feel like people are just tired of being cooped up inside their houses, and they're gonna be
Oh,
be
dude,
there.
I'm
for
like,
sure.
they said restrictions were lifted yesterday, right?
Yeah, fuck a mask.
Okay.
Unless
I go
you-
to Home Depot.
unless you're
I'm
working.
fucking going, yeah, fuck yeah, no mask, and I walk in and I'm like, why does everyone have their fucking mask on still?
Yeah.
So
I think
you
it's gonna
feel
be-
weird.
I think it's
at
gonna
the
be a
same
slow
time.
process. I went to the post office yesterday. I didn't wear a mask inside, even though it still had the signs up. But I just walk in. I drop off. Three
I
or
know
four.
there was probably like
3 or 4 garbage bags. full.
10% of the people had no mask, and the
Yeah.
rest did. And I'm like, I'm vaccinated, man. I'm fucking done. Did you guys get vaccinated? Oh, here he's leaving. Did you get vaccinated? No,
I didn't.
no,
No.
neither of you guys.
No.
Phil, did you get vaccinated? He was fucking my first friend to have Rona, dude.
Yeah.
He probably had it the worst of all my.
Is that
You're not
is
dead?
that filthy fishing?
yeah,
Is that's
California
that-
filthy. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
he's a real piece of shit.
I thought he was from Northern California.
No, he's down here.
For some reason, like when a lot of guys have like similar usernames and stuff like that, like you never know like who they are. Or where
Dude,
they're
it's
from.
hard when I go, hey man, my name's fucking Joe Blow, and I'm like, on Instagram, we've talked. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's your username? Will tell me. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't fucking know your real name.
Yeah,
dude.
it's tough, and then it's like, that's the world we're living in now.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
The world we're living in now is kind of
Yeah.
like, but don't get me wrong, hitting up dudes at the lake too it could backfire. When you try to go, hey, I just want to introduce myself, and there's cunts.
Oh.
You know what
There-
I'm saying? So it goes
We've
both
had,
ways.
we've had people come up to us when we were out there
There
fishing and being like,
But
hey,
you said
But there's
kind
a
of like
there's
how,
a right
how-
way to do it,
exactly.
and there's a wrong way
Yeah.
to do it.
Well, I did it at the launch ramp, like before we
Yeah,
left.
so
So
that's
like,
that's
fair
totally
game.
fine.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah.
but I get what you're saying. I'm not going to drive up to you and be like, hey man, you know, like fucking.
Yeah.
no
I
way.
mean, if you're
Yeah.
if you're like busting wake on us to come up and say what's up, that's not cool. But I mean,
But
if you
the crazy
if
thing
you
with Instagram
slow
with
come
fishing, you guys are kind of like famous
Yeah.
a little. I know it sounds stupid, but
Air quotes.
okay. Well, if you're on Instagram and you're catching big fish, or you got a company, people are into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're gonna want to talk to you. So, and you're putting yourself out there. So part of you has to go, well, fuck. I gotta kind of be cool because, like, I don't know, like, whatever you're doing, like you're promoting a company.
well,
you're
dude, I
promoting-
still say what's on my mind.
Yeah.
Like if something doesn't sit right with
No,
me,
of
I mean,
course.
I'm not going to bite my tongue on it, you know. But there's a lot of times where, you know, like in the comment section where I've already had something typed out and I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, not
like
worth
you're
it.
not
Dude,
going to even
I've
make
done
a fucking
that
dent.
50 times, dude.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're not going to make a dent.
there's no point. And either if it's something bad, I'll fucking block them, and it pisses me off. And
Yeah.
if it's, you know, or
You're
I'll
not
be
going
like,
to change someone's mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
and-
person you will, though, because, I mean, let's face it, everyone's going to be different in person. You know, arguments through text message are never the easiest, and that's all that is, you know.
Yeah, and people have such a different perception of you,
"Who the
based
fuck-"
on
Oh, that's my son. Sorry.
uh,
Like, who the
different-
fuck
yeah.
is this guy now?
It's like a revolving door.
Is my son Herpangina? Have you heard the story about him?
No,
No.
Herpangina? No. He works at
No,
screen printing.
Have you talked about it on your podcast?
Yes, I
Because I
have.
don't listen to your podcast.
I know you don't. So I'm gonna tell you. You're just like Daniel.
I've listened to like
5.
probably 6 or 7.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
listened
get
to
it.
Greg, Wayne, Johnny, Toxic. Even though you had Toxic on like 7, 8 times, he must be your best friend.
He's a good buddy.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, you know what? Good buddies get the,
Jack him off.
Great
what can I
friends.
say?
Great
Well,
friends.
But
mean-
Danny's been on fucking like 80 times.
Yeah,
Shit.
but Danny just sits there like this. Yes.
Let me give this
Yeah.
to my dad.
Let me give this to my dad, the guy that really knows how to fish.
Yeah. Too funny.
No, he got this during COVID when it first started.
Go that way.
he got fucking sick. He had a fever. He busted in the door. COVID just happened. Everyone's flipping out. I'm like, what's up? He's like, I got a fever. I'm like, fuck. So we take him to the doctor's, gets the swab, nothing. I got him trapped in his room wearing fucking a mask and everything. The doctor comes back and says, I had something called herpangina. It's like mono.
Oh, okay.
But he got it from kissing a little fucking girl down the street, messing with her, during her. So I call him herpangina.
Just kissing her, right? Just kissing her.
There
Yeah.
might have been something else going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people will call him herpangina.
That's
my
too
son.
funny.
I mean, that's a horrible name for a fucking
Yeah. It's not as
virus.
bad as Gerald.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I've been called Jerry, Gerald. Yeah, it's all good.
Has other people call you Gerald as well? Why would we call
No.
you Gerald?
No,
No,
Jerry, of course.
Maybe because he saw the G
The G.
Springer. You know, like it looked
Yeah.
like if you just look.
I mean,
Yeah.
but then if you just look, it also says Greg on my thing. you
Yeah,
know?
true.
Yeah.
all good.
He just
click on
doesn't
the-
pay attention. Fucking Danny. you
Selective
fuck.
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Do you
but
have
a lot
any other
of
questions
people-
on there?
I
sorry,
do.
that cut you
I'm
off.
just saying, but a lot of people, they have a perception of you, like if you are popular, then you're unapproachable, which is totally the opposite. Like I feel like people can talk to me about fishing or baits or a problem they have with the bait or anything. Like a lot of times people will go to Johnny or someone else and tell them, oh, I've been having a problem, with this bait or something like that. And then now Johnny's got to tell me, and then now there's a middleman. There's a guy that's doing customer service work that shouldn't have to. They should
I
just-
agree on that
they should just
100%. I feel
come.
like if every bait maker I've talked to, if someone reaches out to me and says there's a problem, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just
Yeah, it's
rather
your name.
go,
Yeah.
oh, first cast on the Pizz, for example, fucking broke. Tail fucked up. Whatever. I'm not going to put that out because I'm like, I'd rather just hit you up and be like, bro, this kind of broke, whatever.
Oh, that cat's looking at me. Stay there.
But that's the way to go about it is just,
Yeah.
if you message the dude, and I'm sure people sometimes message people and they don't fucking get back. depending on the guy.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if you have a company, they're gonna get back to you.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
even before I started making baits, and even after I started making baits, like if I get something new, if I get a bait, or if I'm going to try out a bait, even if it's one of my own, like I'll pull on the tail, make sure it's glued in right, because you know what, like, you know, we make a lot of baits, and sometimes, you know, we don't skip, but we like miss a step, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that's in. I'll make sure the bill is not loose, you know. Just stuff like that. I'll make
Yeah.
sure that the paint is cleaned off of the line tie, because you don't want, you know, to be
Yeah, it's
tying
all
your baits on
preventative stuff that
yeah.
you as a user need to do.
Yeah, and that could totally.
Do you swim every bait? Or you float it?
I sink test.
Sink test.
Yeah, I
okay,
sink
yeah,
test.
okay.
So like I used to go to the lake or to the pond and test every single bait.
Fuck, really?
But ever since that I've gone with
Row?
row, like there's less of a chance of there being an issue, because everything is already lined up perfectly.
So once
So-
you get that bait down, you'll take it to row to like square it up, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
And then
mirror,
you're
just
like-
mirror.
yeah.
Just mirror. Or resize. You know, like if I
Yeah.
want something bigger or something smaller that looks exactly the same, that's
Hey,
basically
well,
the surface.
the swim does work the same when you shrink it down a little.
For the most part, I mean, I
It's
guess
just
it just
weights.
depends on the baits.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets,
Alright.
you know, obviously bigger sized baits are going to take more weight, you know, more tuning and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Whereas smaller baits, you have less room for error. You know,
Yeah.
smaller baits aren't going to do what a bigger bait can potentially do.
Yes.
You know, but some baits, I mean, they fish big. You know, they do have drawing power. You know, the Shad Little has good drawing power.
How big is a Shad Little?
It's just under 7 inches, and it has big.
That
drawing
you
power.
said, I think in your podcast, you said how long what's the smallest bait you make?
The smallest bait I make now is the Little Chief, which is 6.75.
Hardest bait to make?
Oh, the hardest? I thought you said the smallest.
That one was for you, the 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 6.75. That is the well. Okay, so
What's the hardest one to make?
The
I think
runt.
is-
Yeah.
Okay, so the runt bluegill is the smallest, like
Okay.
because it's a bluegill profile, so it's tall and you know it's stubby.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardest bait to make. The hardest time I had making baits was right after I had my head injury, and like I couldn't remember. Like I couldn't remember
Fuck,
like everything. Even though I had it written down, I was still having a hard time remembering.
Was it
if that
remembering
was
or
even
focusing?
remembering?
Remembering.
Yeah. So like some of those baits didn't come out very good, and they got sold
How
or
are you feeling
traded
now?
around. I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better. I still have some residuals, but as long as I stay pretty hydrated, I'm fine.
Oh,
So,
that's a big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Drinking
don't
like a
get
gallon of
dizzy.
water a day or something.
Yeah, I don't get as dizzy. I don't have the headaches or anything else like that. The only thing that I deal with probably the most now would be like anxiety. And
Do you
I
take
think that
CBD or anything like that?
no, I
No?
don't. I would do like some CBD oils.
Yeah.
Now that I'm not with my job, you know,
Oh,
because
now that
they
you're not
do.
your job, why don't
they
you
do-
just fucking smoke weed? And I'm not.
I've
truth
never
be
been.
told,
I mean,
dude,
I've never been into it. So
vape, bro. Like I anti, and then I did it, and I'm like, I was so calm and relaxed. I'm like, now I'm not gonna go fucking fishing because I'm like gonna fall asleep. But
Oh.
if I'm just gonna kick back and like need to relax or having anxiety issues,
I've never. I mean, I'm obviously making baits and having to make a lot for an order or something like that. That obviously is. I feel the pressure from that, and getting baits out on a timely manner. I feel the pressure of that. But I never had anxiety until I had my head injury. So I think it has to do with some type of
I get it. Yeah.
something that stems from that. I still go to the chiropractor and work on my neck and my upper back and stuff. So the workers' comp has been good about that, which I appreciate. But at the same time, you're not going to make yourself better unless you do it on your own. So walking, riding bikes, going swimming.
Been
stuff like that.
exercising a lot too, as well.
As much as I can.
I mean, you looking fucking good right now.
Everybody says that
you
I
looking
look like
fine
I've lost.
as fuck, man.
Everybody says I've been looking like I lost weight, but I feel fatter than ever. I don't know. Dude, whoever in the house bought those Kirkland chocolate-covered almonds needs to stop buying the chocolate-covered almonds and needs to stop buying red vines, because every time I walk downstairs, I walk by the pantry
You
and I
grab
grab
a
a handful. So serving size says 11, but my serving size is like 26. I'm pooping out chocolate-covered almonds.
In the bushes at that, right?
Hey, that's story. Why you got to bring up old shit? Why you got to bring up old shit?
Let's hit that next question.
Okay, so next question is biggest catch by a customer.
That's good.
I think is 10 pounds, 13 ounces.
Wow.
Maybe 10 pounds, 14 ounces. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that number is about right. There's been quite a few double digits caught on.
That's a big
on
deal.
my baits. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 9, 8, 7. I mean, they're all good fish.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Nice.
Just a guy that's used to catching like 2 and 3 pounders to get a 5 pounder. That's a big deal.
Fuck, dude.
You know, that's a big deal to them, and they're really stoked about it. And I'm really happy for them too. You know,
That's what I was telling like back east when I was talking to Dream Smasher, had him on and kind of talking the comparison of like a big fish over there is like 8 pounds.
Mhm.
You know, like that's a big fish where you're never gonna get 15 or 16 on that side of the coast where he's fishing. You know,
Yeah.
it's Minnesota, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's a big fucking fish.
Well, like I said, I think if you're consistently catching 3 or 4 pound fish, and and then you make a change or you get a bait that you feel even more confident in, and you start catching 5 and 6 pounders, I mean, that's a good elevation. Like,
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
That's where you're like, I mean, you didn't even know those fish were even in that lake because you had never caught them before.
Yeah.
So,
And it's like, I feel like there's like 3 types of big bait fishermen, and that kind of goes into it. One type is the type that wants to catch, the next world record, that hates catching 6, 7, 8, 9 pounders. They want nothing but 10s and bigger. And that's like a whole different class of it. And then there's other guys that will, they, like Paul said, they have a consistent bite of, 3 and 4 pounders, but they want that kicker. So maybe the tournament fisherman, or someone that's not super confident in swim baits but can catch fish, and wants just something a little bigger. There's that whole crowd. And then the third one is just the person that wants to take a picture with it, I guess, and hang it on their shelf.
calls.
What do you feel like you are, the middle one, or do you feel like you're looking for only the biggest?
For about, I'd say for 5 months out of the year, all I want is giant fish. The rest is just, I know my chances are pretty slim, for that time. I still want a giant fish in the summer and stuff like that. It's not all dictated by time of year. Most of it is. But in the summertime, and I just like to have fun too, because that's what it gets down to. Like in wintertime, if I catch a 5 pounder, I'm pissed. Like, because not only that, but they can wreck your baits, and it's just like you've been grinding for 10 trips in a row, and that's the one.
But you're on a different level as well. You've been doing this for a long time, and you kind of like know what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, where if you get someone that's been doing it for like 2 or 3 years, you're looking at like me, like I'm like happy with on a swim bait. I'm happy with like 8, 5, 6. I'm fucking happy.
But that would put you into that second category,
Yeah.
not that not that first.
But
category.
then when I go fishing, I'm happy with whatever the fuck I catch, because most of the time, and I might be different than everyone else, I go out with a buddy and it's like therapy.
Yeah.
So I'm shooting this shit. I like the therapy as much as I like the fishing. So it's like I could be going through some shit at home, mad at my wife, whatever the fuck it is, and I'm talking to my buddy like Phil, whatever, whoever it is, and I fucking vent. Hate the podcast. Fuck this fucking guest. Fucking Paul's an asshole. Like
shots fired. Shots fired.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like
You sound like every customer right now. They can't get a bait.
But like that. That's where I'm at with it. I'm sure. Are you the same way, Paul? Like, do you just want to get out and fish? Are you looking for big fish?
Do you remember when I said I haven't fished in California in 8 months? I mean, I need some therapy.
But previously, were you like, I'm just gonna get out and fish? That's my therapy for a while. If I catch 5s and 8s, I'm cool.
Yeah. So, I like fishing alone, but I also like fishing with friends. And like the times that I've gone out with Greg, I mean, we got stories for every trip. Just every time we've gone out, whether it's been Skinner, DVL, the Delta. Did you come up to the lagoon?
Yeah, I came up to the lagoon last summer.
Yeah. So, I mean, we always have a good time, and we're always laughing and stuff like that. And, we text each other quite a bit, but not, we'll go like, a week or 2 without texting, and then, something will come up, or, I'll send him a picture or something, and it'll just start up a whole thing. But as far as, going out to fish, You know, being a one man company, I mean, you have to promote your own stuff, you know? So like people always ask if I'm fishing other people's baits and I'm not. I'm only fishing my stuff.
That's the deal if you make a bait, because guess what? Like you said, you're promoting your own
Yeah.
deal.
So
every bait maker I've talked to pretty much is going, yeah, I'm fishing my own shit. You know,
yeah,
like,
but at the same time, like I know in the winter time, you know, a soft bait is going to be a better chance of catching a fish, and I'll throw them out there, and then I'll get stubborn and want to catch on my own stuff or something like that. But I'm not the type of fisherman that'll go out and fish all day. Like I'm fine with
4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours.
I'm
and
there
then,
with
and
you.
then
I'm
just
on
going.
that same schedule.
And a lot of that
I
has
don't
to
get
do.
a choice.
Yeah, dude, a lot of that has to
schedule
do
won't let
with
me.
yeah, a lot of that has to do with my head injury. You know, after that, I mean, I have balance issues on the boat. I mean, if you've seen any of the cast to catches, I get like the trolling motor will throw me off. You know,
Fuck, dude.
or like on that big fish that I caught at Pyramid, like I set the hook and then I was like, stumbling afterwards. And I tend to sit down a lot, like there's been a lot of times where guys will be out on the boat with me. I'm like, hey dude, just run the trolling motor for a while, cause I got to sit down. So, and, the heat will get to me and stuff.
Swollen, like
Yeah.
you said, like maybe like, the hydration
Yeah.
plays into that. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So the hydration, helps a lot.
Yeah.
And then just, as far as catching, of course I'd love to catch big fish. My on scale PB is only 9 pounds on a swim bait. So I have 2 over 10 that were not on a swim bait.
What was it on?
Uh,
Jig or something?
Texas rig hula grub.
Okay.
This is the lagoon back in the day when I was float tubing, back in the day, before I even started painting. So Texas rig hula grub. And the story that I told, the jig where we were pouring our own trailers.
Okay.
So
I feel like if you're a good jig fisherman, it could be a good crossover to swim baits a lot of the time.
It helped me. I mean,
Yeah.
I spoke about that last
Yeah.
time. Helped me
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Even talk to guys that don't fish swim baits that are big. Up in the Delta, there's some other podcasts. I talk to guys that do other podcasts like, dude, I think I can catch a big one like that on a jig. I'm like, you probably can. Fuck.
yeah.
It's just a different
Well,
application.
obviously it's what you feel comfortable with,
Yeah.
but I don't think fishing any particular way other than just the knowledge of how to attack a spot is going to change the way you catch fish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're a jig fisherman, a crankbait fisherman, a worm fisherman, or anything else like that, you're going to have an idea in your head how you're going to want to attack a certain spot or position. And then just when you finally do throw a swim bait on it, you're either going to feel like you have a good shot at execution or not. But I think a lot of guys just get discouraged by the amount of numbers they don't catch on a swim bait, so they put it down right away. They put it down too soon, where guys that are, bringing 1 or 2 rods out and both of them are swim bait rods, like you're going to have more knowledge at the end of the day based on what you did or what you didn't do, or what fish you caught or what fish you didn't
I
caught.
agree.
Because like if you're like I'm just looking at, from my perspective, not business perspective, but cast to catch, you can't argue that. No matter what, cast to catch, you cannot argue that. But to me, like if I look at a picture and a dude has 15 rods on the deck and he's got a swim bait rod and he's got a spinnerbait rod and a crankbait and this and that, and he's posting the fish like this and he's like, oh yeah, I caught this on this. No, I don't care. Nah, you didn't catch on that.
Fucking liar.
Just, I mean, there's a lot
No
of bait.
hook
There's
crash,
a lot of
it looks like it's straight out
bait's
of the
not
box.
wet. Your pants aren't wet. Nothing's wet. You even if I don't know.
No, I agree.
I'm just a skeptical, and like I said, cast to catch trumps all. But if a customer sends me a picture and says, "Hey, I caught it on one of your baits," it is what it is. I'm not going to call him a liar.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just tell a customer that spent his money on a bait, no, you didn't catch on that, you caught on something else. Now, there's been speculation of people bait hanging and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's been tied to my baits and stuff because they, want to be.
That's nothing to do with you.
That has nothing to do with me.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that has nothing. If someone
But
You don't
people-
pay people to do that?
No.
is that the rumor?
Because if you did, then
I don't
people
know.
to fucking hang baits and big fish.
No, I think when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think people just they they have that perception, like they want to be liked by the bait maker, you know what I mean? And they want to be recognized by the bait maker.
I think the swim bait industry, they want to be recognized by more than anything. They want to be validated.
the cool thing to
validated,
do.
right?
But
You want to
I
be
mean,
validated.
yeah.
You want to be swim baited.
Yeah,
you know?
but if you're gonna validate your stuff, do it cast to catch,
I
because
agree.
there's no argument
Yeah.
with that, and it doesn't even matter where you fish. Like you could fish a private pond, a golf course, a big lake, you can fish in the ocean or whatever like that. The fact of the matter is, you casted that bait out, you caught the fish. You know, whether it's like recently people have been talking about managed fisheries. Like you still got to make the fish eat. You know, and a cast to catch is always good for business.
Yeah.
The only thing that it's, the only time it's bad for business is if your attitude about it is put out in the wrong way, and then you ruin your reputation because, you're cocky or you're this or that when you should
Arrogant
just,
and cocky,
you should just be humble, catch fish, put your head down and post those fish, like I'll see things and I'll recognize more people that are, putting in the time and the effort and stuff like that.
Game recognized game, son.
But it's like the key to get baits for me is not to try to like butter me up and stuff. I don't care, like all I care about is that you're out there trying, you're out there fishing, like I don't need ego stroke. I don't need nothing like that. Like if I see you're doing hard work, I'm gonna be more apt to sell you a bait, And guys are like, well, I'm scared to throw the bait because if I lose it, I'm gonna have a hard time getting one. And it's just like, dude, if you're out there using it, you're sending me pictures, you're sending me videos or whatever, I'm gonna make you a bait before somebody else that never posts anything. That never.
That's another thing people got to understand too. Is I feel like, well, this person gets baits. It's fucked up. He gets it before everyone else.
Well, first off, all my friends are going to get baits before anybody else.
I
That's
love that.
That's just the way.
And that's what Jeremy said.
And sometimes they won't. No, just kidding.
Hey, hand me that bait right
No.
there.
He just fucking got
Hand me
it.
that bait right there. That's my baby right there.
But it's the truth. Like, it's like, of course, like, and like you said, is Caesar going to be on more than other people? Yeah, he's my friend.
Sure.
Whoever else is my
Yeah, of
friend's going to
course.
be on more,
But what I tell these guys, and they've been guilty of it, the circle jerk, if you will, is that they're posting like a lot of their collection. And that's what I don't want them to do. Like I don't want it to seem like they're throwing it in other people's faces that they got these big, huge collections and stuff like that. I'd rather them just post the more fish. And we talk about that kind of stuff. Like, if we're going to share stuff or we're going to post stuff, post positive stuff. We're not here to tear down other people. We're not here to tear down other companies or, to bash on other people or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
A great comment you just said, like, that's, you're being positive moving forward.
Well,
when I feel like it's easy to tear down
it's
other people
easy.
a
I mean,
lot
of
right
course
now.
there's going to be shit talking and there's going to be some banter between friends and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, but don't leak it out. Don't post it out in the open for people to see because, just the other day, someone made some kind of comment or rant or something like that. And then one of the comments was down, oh, that's just a typical Pizz guy. And that's totally wrong. You know what I mean? Like that, like for one, he wasn't even a Pizz guy, he's just a guy that has Pizz and stuff like that. But like, I don't want that negative imagery. Like we're
The vibe,
yeah, we're here to just, catch fish, be friends, hang out, do barbecues, do stuff like that, and just have fun. Like of course everyone's gonna have beefs and stuff like that. It's just the way that it is. There's way too many men in the fishing industry
That's just
that
ego,
have.
dude. You go anywhere
It's
you go,
ego.
you're gonna have that.
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, no
ego.
matter.
Yeah. So, and that's why I just try to be more approachable. If people come up to me at a show, I try to, I always shake their hand, introduce myself, and they're like, hey, we've met before. And I'm like, well, I'm introducing myself again because, there's one of me and thousands of you guys, and I can't remember everybody,
I think that's the best way to go about it.
Like if
Hey,
if I saw you at a show or something like that, I'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm Pizz. And you're gonna be like, dude, we've done like 2 podcasts. And I'm gonna be like, who?
Thanks. Look at him. He doesn't.
My
know who
name
the
is
fuck I
Nick.
am, huh?
Yeah. So,
but I would do the same thing. Like there's times where I'm like, I met the dude 4 times. I'm like, fuck, I forgot your name. I'm sorry, bro. You know?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
own it.
Yeah, I don't own
Yeah.
it, of course, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's dudes like, dude, like Butch, he fucking remembers everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I talked about the story, like, where I was at Fred Hall, and I'm like, we finished the podcast, and I went to say what's up, and he fucking was like, hey, Nick. You know, I'm like, oh, fuck, you remember my name, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and people are shocked by that sometimes, you know, when fucking,
Yeah. But
cool.
the bottom line is I just want to make good baits,
Yeah.
make good memories for people
are.
making baits and stuff like that.
I think you are. I think you're doing
So-
a good job. Where can we get your baits at, Paul?
PizzSwimbaits.com.
And Slaunch Mob, promote that. I hope there's more to come and we could promote that.
Yeah,
a little
there
more.
is. There's a few designs on the way, and then I'll just keep making designs and try to promote that as they come. So,
Awesome.
I mean, if anybody has like ideas, I mean, you can always bounce them off me.
Oh, I got a shitload. So
Oh,
I'll
do
bring
you?
them to you. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I've
Well,
done
slide
metal, like the
slide into
metal
my
fishing
DM.
stuff. Oh, I'll slide in there. Hey, uncircumcised and all.
Head first.
All right,
Do you have anything to promote?
boys in the hood over here.
I mean, just support those
Pizz.
that support you, you know.
Hey, what about that fucking bait company that came in here? Should we support him now?
Daniel.
Daniel
Of
from
course.
Demiki.
Demiki, you know what? Demiki's always, that when I was painting baits, they asked me to paint some baits for their catalog. You know, we talked about it
Which
last
is so
time.
cool. Like, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
They're still in their catalog, and it's really, it's really cool to see. And
Mm-hmm.
they have good pros on staff, I believe. I'm not
And-
really.
Daniel is actually how I met Paul
Oh,
as
really?
well. Yeah.
You knew Daniel before.
Yeah.
Okay. No, Daniel's been I wish he'd come on. He's been a big supporter of the podcast. He's a good buddy.
Yeah.
He's been a very big help, you know?
Yeah, he's a
Until
good guy.
you live close to him and he asks you to move a couch. That's no good.
Only
Yeah.
a couch? That's nothing.
Oh, it was the worst. I'm not even going to tell the story.
So,
It's so fucking heavy. But you know, that's one company I wish I could get Daniel. I know he doesn't want to come on, but that I always support is Demiki.
Yeah.
And then-
Jamiki,
As well.
Paul, Mark with Neff Customs,
Yeah.
yeah, Neff is good.
Gilbert, I talked to him quite a bit. So I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, but those are the ones that are, constantly in
Yeah.
the circle.
Yeah, I use the
Always
Neff.
help out.
I use the Neff rods. I use the F5 rods. I think both are really good.
Nice.
I have F5 travel rods. I did a signature series rod,
Oh, no way.
a travel rod. Yeah.
Fuck
So
yeah, dude.
I like to when I go to travel, I like to be able to fish, and bring a rod. It's really hard to bring like a huge rod tube on a
Oh,
plane.
fuck yeah, dude.
So-
Super expensive now, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I shipped an 8-foot rod and I was like, that much money? It's
Mhm.
like 8
crazy.
something, 8.2 or 8.3.
Yeah.
Anything
And
over
I'm
8
like-
foot.
It's like $140. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, not doing that good.
So
It's crazy.
one of the last question that someone wanted to ask that I wanted to touch was, what is my favorite lure to make and fish? And the Shadley 2 is probably my favorite. So
You have that on a percentage? How much of the time do you have that time?
I have it tied on every time.
Really?
Yeah, every time. I'll start with it.
Yeah.
So I
Confidence
think,
bait for you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it also just depends, like obviously dead heat of summer, I'm probably going to start with like a, top water,
Yeah.
like a beast wake in the morning or something like that, or a rat or something.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite lures to make is the Shadley 2, just because, the Shadley was probably like the third bait that I had made. It went like the drift, and then it went, did it go drift Shadley beast, or did it go drift beast Shadley?
I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
mean, you would know more than me.
Dude, I had a head injury, so I can't remember.
Either way, those three.
Yeah, so
in a certain order.
so when I discontinued the original one, and I made the new one, I made it as a limited edition, and I put side fin, like soft side fins on it and everything else like that.
cool,
And then I
man.
just got, like, I kept getting hung up on it, and I'm like, you know what? It just, like, I just can't have these side fins on. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, hooks
Okay,
get
but
fouled.
mine works.
Yeah.
Yeah, his works really
Yeah.
good.
I got a double on his last summer on the Shadley,
Shit.
Yeah.
the Shadley LE.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, I took that bait, I filled in all the holes, the fin slots and everything else like that, sanded it down smooth, and I made it into what is now the Shadley 2, and it's probably, I think it's the best glide bait on the
Wow.
market. Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, we can put it head to head with anything, and I've had people tell me that they just don't put anything else on because that they're spoiled by that bait.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but my favorite color to paint is probably bluegills, just because there's so much intricate. Like
Yeah.
I recently did that Star Wars drop, and I painted a Boba Fett theme bluegill, and it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite one I made. So I made myself one in a glide, awake, and a beast mode.
Oh fuck yeah,
So
dude.
yeah, don't get
Nice.
jealous.
It's all good.
Well, fuck. Thank both of you guys for coming back on again. Big
For sure. Of
supporter.
course.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Throughout the time. So, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah,
All right.
you're welcome.